All right, we are back. I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can, but I wanted to give you guys an update. I've been acting like a little bit of a nut these last 2 weeks. I haven't been secretive about this, but I also haven't really talked about it on social media openly. I did talk about this on the last podcast, though. My dad had an aneurysm, went to the hospital, discovered a second aneurysm when they were doing the surgery. He ended up having a bunch of strokes, several strokes, and then he fell into a coma, and he's been in a coma for a couple weeks now. It's not good. I'm not dealing with it very well. Not making excuses, just letting you guys know what's up. I'm not looking for pity or sympathy or any of that shit. I just apologize for being such a nut the last couple weeks. I have not been handling this well, but, you do what you do, day by day, right? One day at a time. How many more cliches can we throw in here? You guys get the point. I'm going to get right to it. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Shooter Lube, America's best gun care system. With the military-grade cleaning solvent and the extreme weapons oil, our new technology has you cleaning your gun better than ever. It's designed to penetrate deep into the pores of the metal, cleaning carbon buildup in less time than other leading solvents. You can feel good knowing you're cleaning your firearms with a product that passed military testing. It's odorless, there's no water, it fully evaporates, leaves no residue, no hazardous ingredients per the EPA, has a high flash point, it's non-corrosive, it does not freeze, and it's non-flammable. The weapons oil is biodegradable, non-flammable, non-toxic, 100% synthetic, low odor, non-staining, rust and corrosion protection, and it reduces wear and friction. Plus, Shooter Lube is offering free shipping on all orders over $35, and they offer 100% money-back satisfaction guarantee. Join the revolution by going to shooterlube.com and using promo codes SINGER to save 10%. All right, this episode I am really excited about. My boy Josh Shwa, Josh Siegel from Primer 55. You guys know him from a few different local projects. Or if you're not local, we do have global listeners. Everybody here knows him for one thing, and then he left our little town. It's not a little town, but you guys get the point. He left here, and he went to fucking, I don't know where he went, but he joined Primer 55. And then after that, after he retired from the music industry, he became a hairdresser. Pretty good one at that. I hung out with him down in Texas when I did my little trip a few months back. If you guys are following me on social media, he's known as the Hair Hulk on Instagram. I'm not going to tell his whole story. I'll let him do that. But I am excited for this. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Please welcome to the podcast, with no further ado, my boy, Josh Siegel. I mean, it's working, but yeah, the chat, I mean, it works. The chat definitely works, but my chat in my little deal here, it won't. I'm supposed to be able to hit this button and like have these pre-scripted things that I can, and it'll put my shit in chat. So gotcha. So I can be like, hey, thanks for hanging out. Sub to the Patreon. Fucking put your questions in. If you say something stupid, I can. Guys, can you fact check that for me? Look that up. Shit like that, right? Timestamp for trying to figure out how to go back and make clips.
Gotcha.
I was like, ooh, you know what I can do is I can fucking throw a timestamp in there and then literally just go back and watch wherever I have those comments pop up, go to that period in the podcast, and I know I've got a good clip on either side of that by 5 minutes. None of it's working, and I don't understand. Like, this thing is hooked up properly, this thing is logged into my YouTube. It used to work,
right?
And now it's like every podcast and everything else works. It's just this fucking YouTube chat thing. That's what all those.
All very confusing to me.
Dude, it's so dumb, dude. It's so irritating, bro. But nonetheless, we're here. We're queer. Get used to it.
That's right. Always.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing.
It's good to see you.
All things considered, I'm doing exceptional.
Fuck yes.
I haven't been doing very well the last couple weeks, but.
Heard, man.
I had to reevaluate how I was dealing with things,
Yeah.
Because that's what the issue was, is like I wasn't dealing with it properly.
So you getting short at people or what? Just kind of just kind of getting short with people, or what?
No, it was like I kind of wasn't in control of my own thoughts or feelings. So I had started to behave out of character.
Gotcha. I've seen that before.
Yeah, right. Like
I've done that before.
I know. I think we all have at times. Usually, it's when we're children.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
No, I'm 100% adult doing that shit.
But I mean,
all the time,
dude, when a fucking parent's dying or dies or whatever for everybody else, for me, it's a weird situation too. But yeah, that'll fuck you up. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I just never really understood how much it would fuck me up.
I've never dealt with it.
I've had a lot of friends die.
Yeah, so have I. And that's the thing. My wife just had her mom die not too long ago, and she's still fucking. It's just something that I don't want to deal with, but it's inevitable. It's one of those things that just sucks.
Exactly.
The older we get, once my friends started dropping off, that's when like the shit fucking starts to hit you, man. I'm fucking 44, man. And my buddies are dying, so it's just crazy.
Yeah. And you got a lot of UFC friends too. So not only are
fight friends, yeah.
Not only do you have sorry, I don't mean UFC as in literally the
UFC.
I mean
I know what you're saying. Fighters, yeah.
Fighters, cage fighters, because there's 30 different companies and organizations out there. But regardless, you also see a lot of that kind of damage done to dudes before they're even dead.
Oh yeah. There's always a worry with those guys. There's always a worry with those guys. You know what I mean? And they all know what they're getting into before they get into it. You take so many fucking hits to the head, man. There's only so much that your body can take. Eventually, it's going to go. Some people can take more. Others, others kind of go, head south a lot earlier. So it's
shout out to everybody chiming in. I'm working with a new board, so if things don't sound right, let me know. If I got to turn things up, turn things down, fuck with things. You guys are pseudo producers. That's why we call you guys Jamies. What's up, guys? Jackson here. Which Jackson? We know a few of them. I wonder which Jackson that is.
Jackson Ruse.
Maybe. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Shout out to Jackson Ruse if that's you, buddy. Shout out to my brother if that's him. Seriously. I mean, which Jackson? There's a bunch of them. There's only two I know that actually go by Jackson, though, and that's my brother and him. So I'm assuming it's Jackson Ruse.
I miss that dude, man. He was fucking awesome.
I'm trying to get him to come up for the podcast, but just like everybody else, he's a busy fucking guy.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you, because I don't think anybody really knew this about you when you were here, and I'm not even 100% certain. When did you get into jiu-jitsu and the fight game?
That was when I moved to, I started fighting in Minneapolis. It was just training. And then when I moved I joined Primer 55, and everything else kind of took, a back seat to everything. So pre-Primer 55, I was in Apple Valley, training out there. And then I moved to Texas, and about maybe 2 months before I moved to Texas, I'd been called on to Primer. So that all just took a back seat. And so once my daughter was born, that's when I kind of I wanted to get her into it. She started fighting jiu-jitsu when she was 2.5 years old. And so
were you doing it seriously?
Not really. Just training. No. My competitive shit was done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just more of it was a fun thing. Minneapolis is a little more serious, but in Texas it was not. My fucking body's so shot, dude, from everything I've ever done. My
It's
knees.
Crazy how much Texas and Minnesota have in common. I don't think most people realize this. We think of them as polar opposites.
They are polar opposites. Well, I'll let you finish your point.
both states and the citizens of them fucking love guns.
That's true. Yes.
Absolutely love guns.
Some cities. In Texas, it's all cities. So
3 sports are taken very seriously in this state.
Yeah.
Well, actually 4 in this state, but the 3 that they have in common with Texas. We take football very seriously here. We take baseball and I'm talking on a children's level.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then wrestling.
But oh man, you know what the thing about Texas? There's no wrestling, man. The programs are being cut in high school.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
because that's not true 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But now it's a thing, huh?
No, it's
stay super close on that, by the way. Yeah.
Texas is football first, always football first.
Yep.
Then they got soccer. Soccer's
also big
huge.
into baseball.
Baseball's big, but their competitive level. starts at such an early age. It's unfucking. My daughter plays soccer, and she started playing soccer 2 years ago, right? And so when they come into the soccer leagues, they start with the rec league, and then the next step at about age 9, they go into the club league, and the club leagues are the big money leagues. It's where, but all of these teams are feeder teams. So they take the kids. These coaches basically scout these kids at age 7.
Yep.
And you'll get phone calls or emails, or they'll contact you at the game itself and say, I want your daughter to come play with me next year.
And I'm not trying to say we take these sports as seriously as Texas.
Yeah.
But we do take them very seriously.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Everything is way more serious in Texas.
Oh, man. In Texas, they're weeding kids out from day one. They start weeding the week, and then the kids that don't take it, kids that can't last the first year, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they do. It's unfucking real, man. They screw. I mean, these kids, these coaches, with these 7-year-old kids, 6-year-old kids are fucking screaming at these kids, and the ones that stick with it are the ones that stay dedicated. But from day one, they are breeding these kids to be professional athletes, and it's unreal.
What's hilarious is I seen a sign, a post, a meme, whatever, on Instagram, but it was a picture of a sign hung at a Little League baseball field, and it was like, the players are children, the umpires are volunteers, and the coaches are parents of the kids. Yeah, your son isn't being scouted by the Rangers today, or whatever the fuck, or the Cubs today. And I just laughed, and I go, it depends on what part of the country
exactly.
You're in.
I'm telling you, dude.
Because
they're
absolutely out there watching.
Yeah.
High schools, like prep schools, they'll do the same thing. They'll go look for kids that are in 5th grade, because that's how we do it in Minnesota. You go, 5th grade is the end of elementary school, 6th grade is what we call middle school, and then 9th grade is when we start what we call high school here. And you will have high school teams going and looking at 5th graders. Yep. And trying to find the right 5th graders to get them into the right junior high. Yeah. So when they're or middle school, so when they're done with that, they go to his high school to play on his football team.
It's like that It's like that everywhere in Texas. In Texas,
that happens here too.
In Texas on the news,
just not at the same level.
In Texas on the news during the football season, they cover high school football. Yep. Every fucking day as a part of the sport. And when I was here,
they take high school football more seriously than professional football.
Yep. They sell tickets. They put them, like when Jerry World opened, the new Dallas thing in Frisco. He's got a field there just specifically set up for high school sports, and they go in there. It's an indoor
stadium.
These fucking stadiums that they're building for these kids. These are. The last one was in Allen. It was $16 million stadium. You go up to the school, and the school looks like shit, but they got these fucking stadiums that are literally like they have offensive coordinators up in the windows, and it's everything's headset. It's as close to professional football as you can possibly get with 16-year-old kids. Yep. It's crazy.
It's not a coincidence that the vast majority of professional football players come from literally Florida and Texas.
Yeah, exactly. It's Friday Night Lights. That's where it came from. Friday Night Lights, every single Friday. They play high school football.
Real, man.
It is 100%.
Yeah, and they're starting to take jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts really seriously down there. That's where I brought up the wrestling correlation between the two states, because up here we're still known for putting out Olympic-level wrestlers from the state of Minnesota. Brock Lesnar, Minnesota, and he's not even the last or the most recent.
The new kid is Gable's. I don't remember his last name, but he just took first. He's an All-American, took first in the national. The Nationals, and he lost one match his entire. Kid's a beast, right? And he came out of Minnesota. He's named after Dan Gable, who happens to be one of the greatest wrestlers from Iowa of all time.
Yeah,
you know
Iowa's a big one too for wrestling. It's basically Minnesota and Iowa, and then everywhere else.
Yeah, Oklahoma's kind of big. If you want to wrestle down south, it's Oklahoma.
But you guys seem in Texas. It went to UFC or mixed martial arts.
Yes,
I was blown away by how many people had cauliflower ear when I was down there hanging out. Like up here, I rarely run into another dude with cauliflower ear. Right? It's me and a few cats. Yeah. Down there, it was like it didn't matter where I went.
Yeah. It was all over. They're all over. My the owner of my daughter's school that she goes to right now, it's at Next Generation. It's in Frisco. The owner is Chris Brennan. You ever heard of him? The West Side Strangler.
Yeah.
He fought in the UFC. He was a King of the Cage champ. Monster, dude. His kid, Lucas Brennan, is in Bellator right now, and he's 5-0 at 145 pounds or something like that. But that's the guy. You know,
we were talking about getting him on the podcast.
Yeah, and then in Dallas, schools all over. You watch UFC. Half the guys that get into the ring are from Dallas. They're Dallas guys. You know, Houston, Dallas.
Which is interesting because, like, obviously Pantera's from Texas.
Yep.
And most people don't know, but one of my favorite musicians, Mark Ribier, the improv guy on social media, he's from Dallas.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
That's where he came up. He literally did what we did.
So much talent in Texas, right?
He did what we did, but in Dallas. Like, he grinded going from bar to bar, schlepping his rig around like a local band, right? But by himself. And there's just not a dude. When I was at the bar, some fucking chick, she's like, "Oh, you do a podcast, huh?" Did I tell you about this?
You told me this story.
Oh, you do a podcast, huh? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, and you're into metal, huh? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, have you ever heard of? And I don't even remember.
I can't remember what you said.
The name of the band. But
it started with an R, I think. I can't remember.
It was something bad though. It was something super cliche, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I think I've heard of them, but
there's also 20 other bands that are named that, so it's a possibility.
Exactly. And she's like, that's my boyfriend's band. And I was just like, oh, I bet they suck. And so I went and found them on iTunes, and I showed her, and I was like, is this them? And she's like, yep, that's them. And I listened to it, and at the end of the night, I fucking got my tab, and I gave it to her, and I was like, hey, tell your boyfriend they need their own sound.
And
she goes, they have their own sound. And I go, no, they don't. They sound like they're making music literally still in 2004.
That's the thing about the Texas music scene right now. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like, when I moved there, there's this little town in Texas called Deep Ellum, which is kind of like the uptown.
I heard about this place.
It's really artsy.
It's the only place we didn't go.
And it's the only place that will play metal music. In all honesty, man, like, there's a place called Trees, which has been there forever, and they bring in. I saw American Head Charge play there. I've seen other bands play there, and it's a really cool fucking club. My Primer was supposed to play there, but they got canceled, which was fucking. It pissed me off. Anyway,
how do you really?
Yeah, I was fucking in town, man. I had all these people that wanted to come see me. We could have fucking packed that place, and sorry, dude. Anyway,
should have burned some of his car to the ground.
Right? But it was
cancel us next time, bitch.
Yeah, it was one of the band members that canceled it. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, so yeah, that's where you see it. And there's a lot of talent as far as metal goes in Texas. There really is. But they're just not heard. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. They're just not. It's not a prevalent genre of music.
I don't remember where I went. But I seen there's a bunch of bands playing while I was down there. Yeah. I don't remember where the fuck I was. Because when I was trying to hook up with you.
Yeah.
Because we hooked up 2 of the
couple
days.
Yeah, a couple days.
Couple different times.
Yep.
I was only down there for 4 days, but I was all around that bitch. Like, dude,
I know you were.
It was great. It was so much fun because I was all by myself. And so there was no one I had to worry about, and I could just literally do whatever I wanted as long as I got my job done. Because I was technically working on that trip for the podcast. But
I was so fucking worried about that, man.
Dude, we'll get to it. It was great. But the bands were terrible. Like, the musicians were terrible.
Was it metal or was it just regular cock rock?
They were everything.
Okay.
They were like, one was a cover band, one was clearly doing originals. But it was a legit venue. So it wasn't like one of those things where it was like just a shitty bar with a shitty stage and a shitty PA, and they just happen to have shitty music.
Yeah.
No, this was like it was kind of like The Rock. Where it was like, you can tell there's like legit bands that play here. I can't even recall, dude.
Was it in Frisco or was it
no. This was, I was fucking, like I said, I was all over. Okay. So it was one of those times where this is how bad it is. I can't even remember if I was coming back from already having met up with you or if I was waiting a couple hours till you got done. But dude, was it McKinney or something like that?
It's possible.
Way up there?
McKinney and Frisco are pretty close.
Well, there's like McKinney, Frisco, Plano.
Little Elm.
Little Elm, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. I was all around that motherfucker, and who knows? I might have accidentally stumbled into
the cigar bar,
Devellum, or whatever the fuck it's called. That little uptown thing you were just describing.
That's fucking downtown Dallas, dude. That's
okay. So I definitely
it's an
didn't
hour
get to
away.
downtown Dallas,
No,
but I did get to the outskirts of Dallas.
Did you? Did you?
A couple different
like
times,
close,
yeah.
like Carrollton area, that type of
yeah. But regardless, I was just like really underwhelmed, and I was talking to people, and I was like, man, we're like the good bands, and they were like, there are none. And I was like, what? And he's like, I mean, if you want to see a good show, you gotta like go see a band that comes through on tour. Like, we don't have good music here.
No.
And he said specifically, he's like, every once in a while we'll have like an elite level musician come out of nowhere, blow up, but they're not even popular here.
No.
They get popular across the country and then come back here.
I have people ask me all the time. I tell them, oh yeah, I was in Primer 55. Oh yeah, they don't remember it, but they don't remember the band because they're younger. But I'm, I'll be like, oh, they'll tell me older. I was in a band. Yeah, or way older. I was in a band. Oh, really? Have you ever heard of this band? No. How the fuck am I supposed to hear about a local band in Texas? You know what I mean? Like, and everybody has that. Oh, have you heard of us? Have you heard of this? No, and we never fucking had that issue in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? We never fucking asked, have you ever heard of 13th Step? We just told them that we're in a local band. You know what I mean? It was one of those things, but everybody thinks that we should know them, and it's crazy because
what's
the
really
talent is
interesting.
so fucking tough to find.
I had a podcast where it wasn't all duckies and bunnies, right? And
is that the one where the guys told you to settle down?
No. But it was hilarious because I asked Jeremy Blake about it, and I'm like, he's like, who is this guy? And I said his band, and he goes, who?
Yeah, right.
and then
that's what it is.
And it was like, yeah, dude, because he's not what he thinks he is. He's just like whatever. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, he's like, we were talking about something, and I asked him, I go, have you heard of By the Thousands? And he goes, oh, fuck yeah. And it was like, see, that's the type of, that's when you're doing shit in this town, people know about you.
Right, yeah,
and
exactly.
It's only a matter of time before they get to you.
Oh, I'd go to the bars downtown Minneapolis
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I go down to the bars in Minneapolis when I was in 13th Step, and people fucking recognize you. I'm like, 13th Step. I'm like, yeah, man, cool. And I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. But I never had my girl.
You stay super close to that.
Yeah, but I would never
realize how quiet you were.
Oh, sorry. I never remember my girlfriend walking up to a guy at the bar and go, have you ever heard of 13th Step? You know what I mean, dude? Like, no, fuck. My boyfriend's in a band.
That's my boyfriend.
That's my boyfriend. He's a lead singer.
So let me ask you, dude, I'm really curious about something that I don't think I ever really asked. Okay, so here's what I think I know.
Right.
13th Step.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were here.
Yep.
And then I don't remember why, and this may even be before you were in the band. The band went to L.A.
Yeah.
To try to find a singer?
No, they went to, so player? This is the story. They were all planning on going to Los Angeles, okay? And the lead singer at the time, the day that they were leaving, said, I'm not going. And so Maddie and Chewy and Sean, who is our drummer at the time, they was like, fuck it, we're just going to go. So they went to Long Beach and hired a few other guys, and that's all it was. Didn't work out, and they moved home.
Well, I remember them telling me, this was one of the first times I had ever heard this, because I was a kid when that happened.
Yeah.
Like literally 16, 17 years old.
Yep.
My band wasn't shit. It was my first band.
Yeah.
7 months of nothing.
Yeah.
So it's my first band. We hadn't even gotten past opening.
Yeah.
Like, that's how low on the total and new I was.
Yeah.
Green, just a true fucking greenhorn. And this is the first time I had heard about this from like a fellow band.
Yeah.
I had heard rumors of this, and you hear lore about how great of a town Minneapolis is, and there's so much talent here.
Sure.
Blah blah blah.
Sure, right? Yeah.
I've preached this on this podcast because it is true.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But they were the first ones that explained to me, like, dude, you guys don't understand. how bad it is. Like, sure, there's more great guitar players out there,
right?
But that's because there's 30 million people in that one city. There's 8 million people in the entire state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
But percentage-wise, they were like, dude, you'll hold an audition of like 100 people.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Only 20 of them are even reasonably good, and maybe one of them is the shit, like an elite level guitar player, and like 5 to 10 of them are competent, you know, kind of like my level. Like, I'm a competent guitar player. I'm not blowing anybody's mind, but like, I can hold my own and play almost any rhythm guitar riff out there. There's very few riffs out there where I'm like, I can fucking play that shit.
Sure.
But so there's a place for me in that world.
Yeah.
People like me is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Whereas out here, you can do 10 guitar auditions and you're going to have one shitty guitar player, fucking 5 competent
incredible
guitar players,
guys, yeah,
and 3 elite level guys.
Yeah.
And that's, so you're talking 3 out of 10 versus 1 out of 100 out there.
Yeah.
So you'll go through 500 auditions out there. And they were like, we couldn't find anyone that was actually good and wanted to do what we were doing.
See, I question.
So they said they came back.
I question how many people they actually auditioned. You know what I mean? Like, I know they had one of the guys, we had one guy out there that lived in their neighborhood or something like that, a big Mexican dude, but like, I'm not sure who else they had.
Incendiary language there.
Oh, what?
I'm just kidding.
A large Hispanic man.
He was a large man from Mexico.
Mexico, yes. So like, and apparently he was really good. You know what I mean? But it just didn't work out.
What's Cesar?
Yeah, they went out there with nothing. I mean, there was they didn't have a lead. They didn't have anybody that they could talk to. They had nothing. I mean, it wasn't like they just went out there because they were following some kind of something. Somebody said, come out here.
Crazy.
No, they were like, we need to go out to Los Angeles if we're going to be heard.
Well, they
and that's a cool, I mean, that's a great fucking mentality to have.
Balls, but it didn't work. And they came back home with their tails between their legs. And that's when you joined them.
And that's when, so this is a funny story. So I was working for Universal Music Group when I was 20, 21, 23, 22. I don't remember. Anyway, so
early 20s. Yeah,
early 20s. And so I was at work and I was going to all these shows, you know what I mean? So like it was, I mean, these baby bands like Non-Point at the time, El Nino, all these bands that were kind of like up and coming, these metal bands. And I just got started.
New metal.
Yeah, new metal. And I was in, and when I went to school in St. Cloud, I was able to get up. Shut up, dude.
No, they're not metal. They're just not metal.
Whatever. They're new metal. Yes, they're new metal. I like new metal. Fuck off. If you don't like new metal, kiss my fucking ass. It's fucking awesome. Blow me. Anyway.
I love it.
Anyway.
At least, dude, I'll give you props just for like
having
the balls to make that statement.
Fuck yeah. Korn, dude, they were awesome. Limp Bizkit was great before Fred Durst turned into an asshole. Like, I love that shit. I
have a soft spot for Korn.
Yeah. I think everybody does, but like
Seven Dust is legit.
See, Seven Dust is awesome, but
Slipknot's legit.
I don't think
the rest
they're really
of it is absolute trash.
Great.
In my opinion,
Primer 55 was new metal, asshole.
Trash. Trash.
So anyway,
I love you, man.
I love you too. In St. Cloud, when I was going to school, there was a band up there that used to let me get up on. I worked at a bar. They used to let me get up on stage and play fucking Korn songs, shit. So I would sing.
Like karaoke?
No, they were a band and they played covers and they would ask me to come up and sing with them.
Gotcha.
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
And so I kind of got the bug at that point. I left school, graduated, left school, came home.
Where was this?
St. Cloud State University.
St. Cloud.
Yeah.
So you're in St. Cloud.
I was in St. Cloud at the time, working
Gotcha.
at a bar. I was a bartender in these. I actually did the booking, so I brought in every fucking metal band that I could find instead of these cock rock assholes and these Dave Matthew wannabe bands. So, so I kind of got the bug
Dave
back
Matthews
then.
Is a shit though.
He is. He's very talented, but his you know, whatever.
His followers.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I went to work at Universal after getting my music business degree, and
Chaz Haslayden in the chat.
What's up, man?
Speaking of Chad, when you coming on the podcast, bud? Go on.
Tomorrow.
I just wanted to ask him. I just wanted now that he's here.
So I went to all these. I started going to all these shows, and I was in charge of like kind of helping out the baby bands. You know, Sunset Black was on Bueller Brothers, which was one of my. That's where I met Brandon and got to know him pretty well.
That doesn't understand this reference, Sunset Black is actually a very well-respected old school local band here in Minneapolis. people loved that band.
Yeah.
They never got big.
No.
But they were one of the bands that all the other bands actually liked and
Brandon is a
respected.
straight fucking talent, dude. I mean, those guys were incredible.
But it's hard to maintain respect from other musicians in this town.
You know,
you
he
can
just
be big in this town, and then all the other musicians are jealous and they hate on you.
Do you know what Brandon just did in L.A.? Have you know Bad Wolves, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard the song that they do with Diamante?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's a song that they did that Vex, the ex-lead singer, that Bad Wolves did with Diamante. It's called "Can You Hear Me" or something like that. It was #1 on the rock charts for a while.
Is it?
That's his song.
Papa, can you hear me?
No,
Not
but
that one?
no, not that one. But that was he produced that song, and
Incredible.
it's a #1 song.
Incredible.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty fucking great what he's doing. Anyway, so I just started seeing these bands. I'm like, I don't want to play. You know, and like I didn't give a fuck. Yeah, and I joined I'd started all these other shitty ass fucking bands. No,
you don't play guitar.
I play guitar
play
for a
drums?
little bit, but I sucked ass. And so I'd been in all these singing in all these kind of baby bands, these little fucking bands throughout.
Let me ask you: had you been encouraged to do music? Because you mentioned you were doing this bar thing. The cover band was up there. They used to have you come up and do shit, and you got the bug, but. Were people like, dude, you're fucking good, you should do this?
Yes, I got that a lot. And so I actually started a band in St. Cloud, and it was a cover band, and then that fell apart.
Pull that closer to you. You got to eat that.
Sorry,
phone.
man.
No, you're good. I just if it drops below the gate, they won't hear you at all.
Okay.
So yeah, you got to eat the foam.
Gotcha.
It's a 58, like you're on stage again.
Gotcha. So anyway, I started. I went to work for. Like I said, I was in all these baby bands, and then those kind of fell to the wayside, and I started working at Universal, and I was like, fuck, I just want to fucking play again. So I go to the fucking city pages of all places, and I look at an ad in the city pages, and the ad literally just said, "Local metal band looking for a lead singer. Call this number."
That's hilarious because 13 Step wasn't metal.
I know.
Nothing. There was literally
maybe it was rock. I don't remember what it
was.
was. Yeah, but I think it was metal because there were so many.
It sounds like that would be the ad they would put.
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly.
I just laugh at that because as arbitrary and as dumb as this is,
it's not the type.
13 Step is not a metal band. They never were a metal band. There was nothing metal about them. They were a rock band.
Yeah,
with hip hop and pop focus.
New metal.
No, I don't even mean in the music. I mean like in the presentation, like how Maddie and they had the jumping thing. And like it was very hip hop in the performance style and the approach.
A lot of Maddie's
the way the music was written, they were pop songs. There was nothing metal about that. A lot of the Maddie
riffs
didn't riff.
No.
He didn't write metal riffs. He wasn't a shredder. It wasn't heavy. There was barely any fucking distortion.
Maddie loved playing good, like chords, just chords with groove. He loved groove, and that was a thing. And it was like something that you could bounce to.
About 13
no,
I'm talking shit about pretending that they're metal.
No, but that was kind of like, I mean, we were grouped into that scene, right? And
no,
so,
I know. I'm just fucking around because it's something we talk about on this podcast a lot.
Yeah.
And like, for example, my new project, we're not fucking metal.
Right.
We have some metal influences and aspects, Dalton fucking shreds it up a bit.
Sure.
I got some fucking metal style riffs. But once you listen to the whole thing, we're not a fucking metal band. We're a rock band. Yeah. And it's just it's dumb.
Plus, I think it's kind of like
I need to really stop bringing that up.
No, I think the definition of metal has kind of evolved and changed throughout the years. Especially it was much different when we were playing than
like. Let me ask
you,
do you think System of a Down is a metal band?
No, I think they're a rock band, but those guys are fucking incredible.
Thank you. Anyway, but that is a great example. Yes. Like they are as close to metal as you can get without being metal.
Right.
They are an extremely hard rock band.
Yeah.
Like literally one more of anything, and they're a metal band.
Right, exactly.
On the softest angle, but still a metal band.
No, absolutely.
Thank you, though.
I absolutely fucking agree with that. But anyways, answered this fucking ad in the city pages. I called up Maddie, which I didn't know who the fuck he was. And so I get this message, "What's up, freak? Leave a message." And I'm like, all right. And so at this point, I had been kind of fucking jaded by finding anything because I tried to find other bands and I was so fucking excited when I would leave these messages. I'm like, hey, man, At this point, I was like, hey, man, I'm just looking for a song. I'm looking for a band. I'm a metal singer. Just wondering if I could set up a point.
Chill.
Yeah, just chill, And so, sure enough, about a day later, Maddie calls me He's like, hey man, I got your message. Just wondering if you'd want to come on down and give it a shot. I'm like, yeah, sure. So we set up an audition, and they had this space, this rehearsal space in Anoka. So I walk in there, and the fucking thing is like I wasn't used to the Minneapolis metal scene, right?
Well, you didn't know.
It was
from
very
St. Cloud.
but I mean, I'd been in Minneapolis for a couple years before, after that, but. The thing about it is,
you weren't in the scene.
No, I wasn't in the scene. But
right.
I'd gone to fucking. I mean, I was watching Black Flag Diesel, and I was watching Nuisance Crew and Thieves Army, and all these fucking bands that I fucking loved. I was in the crowd, right?
Gotcha.
I was in the crowd, and I remember seeing 13th Step, maybe just vaguely, you know what I mean. And I remember seeing Maddie, I think, on stage playing guitar, right? And but I think we came in at the late show. But this was when Quest for Mayhem was going on, and all these bands, and I was like. So anyway, I walk into this fucking audition, and before this, I had been trying out with like these bands. Kids, we were in fucking jeans and just whatever, kind of just whatever. I walk in, I see a fucking 6'4" tall dude with braids down to here, fluorescent colored braids.
He looked like
Chewy,
Tekashi 6'9" before Tekashi 6'9".
Chewy, who's got fucking dreads down to his waist, you know, and Sean was sitting back there. He was fucking bald as hell, and I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking real, man. I got fucking really intimidated. I'm like, a second I walked in, I was wearing jeans and boots.
Which is hilarious.
It is, and I had a leather jacket.
I mean, it's hilarious that you were intimidated.
It was.
Chewy's pretty legit as far as a musician. Maddie never intimidated anyone on guitar, and I'm just going to say, Sean was a terrible drummer. He's a shit drummer.
There's a reason,
man. If that offends somebody out there, I'm sorry, dude. But like,
he's got his own problems right now, and there's a reason why. You know, I'm
not talking about him as a human being. I don't know nothing about him as a person. But I'm saying, as a fellow drummer, that dude was not good.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think it's hilarious because I think highly of you as a vocalist.
Right.
That you're intimidated by these guys.
But I'd never walked into
really
that.
Good musician in that group. In that room when you walked in, but you don't know any better. You're a new guy. You have no equity, no experience, no resume,
nothing.
So it makes sense. It's just ironic.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And so Maddie was there. He's like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna play a riff. We're gonna play a song. You sit there, write some lyrics, and we'll go through it." I kid you not. Yeah, please. So I kid you not. It took me probably a half an hour, and I sat there writing lyrics down. They played the song over and over again. And then I got up, and we fucking played this song, and it ended up actually being one of the first songs on our album. And I can't remember, but
if I remember right, you were like the first or third vocalist they auditioned when they came back from LA.
I can't remember, but I know they had just gotten back.
And only, or you were the third guy who walked through the door. I don't know.
I had to have been the third because they had told me that there are a couple of guys that they were just like thought were a joke. You know what I mean?
Okay,
and so
then it was the third because I know you weren't the second guy.
Yeah,
I cannot even remotely tell you why I'm so certain you were the first. But if you're saying then you were the third guy, because I remember it when they came back. It didn't take them long to find you.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't know. See, I didn't even know how the fuck long they'd been here. I didn't know what was going on.
So it was weird because they were a band that drew really well for a long time.
Yeah.
And they were a staple on the local scene.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say the industry. I want to say the scene.
The scene, yeah.
Because they hadn't really gained any respect or notoriety past local bar owners.
Sure.
Yet. But they were a very equitable band that people made money off of. So they got booked a lot because they drew a lot.
Yep.
And they went to LA, and it seemed like they were out in LA for a couple months, maybe 3 months. That could totally be wrong.
I think it lasted 3 months.
Yeah, and it could have been 3 days for all I remember, but it seemed like 3 months. Whereas when they came back, it could have been 3 weeks, but it seemed like 3 days.
Really?
When they found you.
I had no idea that they had just come back. I still don't know that. It's crazy.
Especially some of you motherfuckers like Jackson and Chad. You guys go way farther back with Maddie and that whole group than I do. So be a real Jamie and correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But my perception is like literally it seemed like they had gotten back.
Yeah.
Immediately started hosting vocal auditions. you were like the third guy,
Okay.
and it took them like less than a week.
Yeah. Oh, really? See, I
That's
had
what it seemed
no
like.
idea.
I have no idea.
See, I
either.
thought like I was under the impression that they got through a few, like at least 4 or 5.
I literally remember running into Maddie at Star Central,
Yeah.
having a conversation with him, which we already kind of talked about,
Sure.
the whole audition process
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then it seemed like a week later,
Really?
I met you, and you were the new singer.
Really? See,
Totally. I
we
mean, I
had-
drank a lot back then.
so did I.
So it
But
could
we
have
had-
been 3 months.
I remember
you know?
we had finished that audition, and Maddie was just like, and Chewy, they were like, we got a couple more guys to look at, we'll let you know. Well, apparently, when I left, they were fucking high-fiving each other, so we found them, So I had no idea about this. I waited 3 days to get a fucking phone call, right? And so I was pissed.
That's actually kind of smart.
Yeah, it is. It
Maybe
totally
that's why
is.
I can't get a fucking drummer.
And it was.
We'll let you know.
But I'll tell
Make
you,
him wait
man,
3
like,
days like a date.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
call for 48 hours.
Actually, the funny
God.
thing is,
Matt,
guys-
I heard Matt was a great salesman because
Oh my
he was fucking
God.
with dirt bikes and ATVs and shit.
yeah,
And I heard he was like an elite level salesman.
he was top. He was a top guy.
That makes sense to me, and I think I'm gonna steal that.
I'm telling you what, that guy could sell anything. He could
Well,
sell
and-
a pube, and he'd be.
And people have said
People-
that about me.
Yeah, oh, really?
They're like-
Yeah.
I mean, people in my friend circle, my family members, you could sell ice water to an Eskimo, fucking shit like that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do know I'm a fucking great sales guy.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 for sure, maybe 3 that I know for a fact they're better sales guys than me. And
Yeah,
the 2 for sure, those are my old bosses that taught
Yeah.
me how to be a great
dude.
sales
I'll
guy.
tell you what, man.
Chuck and Jeff.
Maddie was our greatest fucking advocate, our greatest salesman, our greatest marketing guy. If it wasn't for him, there is no way that band would have been as successful. He got us everything. And it would be like we walk in, I got us a warehouse. I'm like, Maddie, how the fuck are we going to pay for that? Some guy just gave me some money. I'm like, all right. And I didn't ask a goddamn question. I'm like, sweet. And then but the next thing you know, we're building a full-size stage with a full lighting system and a full sound system in this fucking warehouse, right? And he's like, I got $10,000 from another guy to build the stage. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to fucking know where it came from, and I don't really fucking care, but it's awesome, and whatever. And so we were paying.
Where do you think that money came from? Do you think that he was like doing some fucking weird shit on the side, or do
No,
you think he
no,
was
no.
getting people to invest in?
He was getting
13
people.
Step?
He was getting people to invest. The
'Cause
problem,
the
thing that I believe,
there was some drug money going
no,
on.
no, absolutely not. But what I do believe is that he made promises that he didn't keep.
Of course,
Yeah.
That's
And so
75% of the music business,
Right? And so what I believe,
75% of the music business is literally built on not being able to to follow up on the promise.
but Maddie's brain, this dude's brain works like it's a very different mentality, and he knows that if there's not a contract, if nobody signs something, if he doesn't have even as much as a handshake, it's his.
Yeah,
right?
That shit'll also get you shot.
In trouble. And that was a thing. Is like, but
Not
he
just
picked,
in trouble.
He picked these people.
Shot.
He picked these people perfectly. And so half the time, be like, they just want to hang out with us. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Let's fucking hang out with them. Never hung out with us. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, we made a lot of money at that warehouse. We had those parties. We paid for rent that way. We paid for kegs. We had a good time.
Parties were dope.
Oh,
I
they're
went to a few of
fucking
them
awesome,
motherfuckers. Dude. My favorite party I went to, we had gotten hammered, and for some reason I had decided to go to White Castle alone
in that area.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend.
down Highway 65, and I walked.
I remember that. You brought back those fucking Crave cases.
Yeah.
I remember that, dude.
Yeah. Dude. And the best part was, and Ryan Zimmerman is one of the only people, Rain is one of the only people that gets a certain side of my humor.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, dude, this is fucking awesome. I'm like, you don't understand what I went through. and
Ate all those fucking things.
Everyone looks at me like, what? And I was like, I almost died on the way there. Twice!
I remember that, dude. Yeah.
Laughing, and I didn't almost die,
Right.
but I did almost die because here's what happened. I cut through like a field
Yeah.
that ended up being a swamp. And
your fucking feet were all muddy and shit too, weren't they? I remember that.
I lost my shoes.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
I almost didn't make it. And I had to convince the people at White Castle to let me order from outside.
Oh my God, dude.
Cash because I didn't have shoes. No shirt, no shoes, no service, right? It was insane. And then I walked with the 2 crave cases, eating some.
Yeah.
Holding the others, and I took the long way back.
I remember
y'all
you came.
motherfuckers enjoyed
We
that
ate
White
the
Castle.
shit out of that, dude. I remember that, man. And they were all gone. You did. You absolutely did. I remember that.
Heroes wear capes.
That's right. It was, but that shit was funny. You know, like we were there, and that's the shit that I miss. You know, like I miss that stuff. That's the one thing that I can say. Like I miss the. I'll tell you this
going
story.
into the bathroom with a girl named Jessica and another girl.
I remember Jessica. Yeah.
And they did coke in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do coke.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done coke, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
Especially every time it's offered.
Sure.
Like it's extremely rare I'll do any blow at all.
Yeah.
I just found out everyone thought we had a threesome in there.
Yep, we did. Everybody thought that. I thought that. Like that was the fucking story. That was the story, and that's the problem with the scene. But I
developed a reputation as fucking. Everyone thought I fucked all the girls.
Well, you had that girlfriend for a while that I remember.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I did fuck a lot of girls.
Yeah.
I mean, I fucked a lot of women, but not nearly as many as y'all think.
Yeah,
like y'all gave me way too much credit. Way too much
Trust
credit,
me, man.
Because there was a lot of those moments where like I was trusted and like the reason they wanted me to come into the bathroom was we were in the middle of a conversation all hanging out and they're like, do you want to come in with us? And I was like, that seems weird. And they were like, you can help us make sure nobody else busts in here. And I was like, oh, okay. So I literally stood there with my foot at the bottom of the door and sure as shit, within 5 to 10 seconds, somebody tried to open the fucking door. And I yelled out the door, eat shit, I'll kill you all. You're not coming in right now.
Yep. That's, dude, that's that
and
whole...
everyone thought I fucked both them girls.
Yeah. Well... Man, you should have stuck with it, dude.
I didn't even know that was being said.
Oh, that was that night. That's where it fucking started. I
That's
remember
hilarious.
that shit. You know, George and they're fucking some 2 girls. God, you know. And that's the whole fucking. That's the one thing about that Minneapolis scene. That's that rumor mill, dude. That was crazy. Apparently, I did amphetamine on a regular basis. I've never even seen methamphetamine.
Mathematically, though,
yeah,
those people are idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't look like that and do meth at the same time.
But I've never even seen it. I've literally never seen methamphetamine in front of me in real life. I've seen it on TV, but I've never seen it, right? And so it was, and the guy who brought that to my attention was Jamal Carlson when we were bitching at each other one day. You're a meth head. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Well, that's what everybody said.
Jamal, back then, Jamal's been on the podcast several times. I need to have him back on, actually. It's been a while. But sorry, back then, bud, I respect you now, but back then you were an idiot because you should have known that guy can't do meth and still have muscles like that because you always looked like this.
Yeah.
You were never my size in our scene. Maybe you were my size at some point in your life. But
I started working out when I was fucking 15 years old, man. You know?
No. I've been fucking jacked my whole life, bro. Don't fucking ever put me in the same category as you, Jared.
No,
you skinny noodle arm piece of shit.
But the funny thing was, like, I got this fucking great story, like, about I kind
Stay
of like
close to that.
How I figured out that I was kind of in the scene, you know what I mean? So when I just gotten the job in 13 Step, and the funny thing is, like, everybody says, "Oh, who are your influences?" My influences, honestly, I don't fucking Pantera. My influence are Greg Moog, Chilton, fucking all these new Vinny, all these guys from all these local bands. I used to sit and watch as a kid, you know. Jared, but all these guys, I'm
just kidding.
All these guys, you're a dick.
Dude, that was you played that well.
Yeah,
that was really funny.
But all these guys that as a kid, that I would sit and watch, you know, in these crowds at Quest for Mayhem, and
I'm younger.
The Lab, and all these places. I used to fucking love going to these shows, and that's where I wanted to be, right? And so after I had joined 13 Step, I think it was we didn't play a show yet, and Maddie a week later brings me to the Rock, right? And I'm walking in, and he just starts introducing me as the new lead singer to 13 Step, and Sean Ware was there. And he comes up, big guy. You know, I didn't know who the fuck he was. I mean, I knew who Dana was, can be and stuff like that. But I
If
just didn't
anybody's
really-
confused, he's been on the podcast. He was just on a few episodes ago. I think he was like episode 91 or something like that.
Probably one of the
Sean Ware.
sweetest guys, really talented dude.
I have a feeling you're going to tell a very similar story to my first interaction with him. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so Maddie goes up to him. He's like, "Hey, Shwa, this is Sean. He's a guitar player for B. Blah blah blah." He comes over and he gives a big fucking hug and goes, "Welcome to the family, dude." And I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, and it still gives me chills, you know, because
Almost
it's
word
at
for word.
that point where I fucking felt that I was part of it, you know, and all these guys that I've been watching on stage for years, like Moogie and Chilton and Vinny from Nuisance and all these guys, I was like, I'm there, you know. That's my fucking crowd now, and so it just felt so fucking like
I think he should
cool.
start going by Vinny. I like Vinny better than Vince.
Yeah,
We're
I've been
from
calling
now.
Vinny forever.
We're
dude.
calling him Vinny now. Starting here today, right now. Josh just did it. I'm backing it up.
Yeah,
I'm
there you go.
I'm the second dancer in this movement. Vinny from Nuisance.
Nuisance, yeah, and so that was kind of like my introduction
Makes
to
him sound
scene.
East Coast.
Yeah, exactly, like Jersey. Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
Jersey.
hey, Vinny. Hey,
Hey,
why
Vinny.
don't you get up on stage and play one of them rap songs?
Yeah, fucking. Hey, Vinny, play a Nuisance tune.
Why don't you play one of them Nuisance tunes and surf around on that fucking crowd on one of those big bananas like you did last year?
That's really good, dude. Surf around on one of the big bananas like you did last year.
So, but yeah,
That's
that was
amazing.
it was a cool fucking experience, and then at that point, like it was
Almost the
just
same interaction I had
that
with Sean.
family just became
I
this.
reached out to shake his hand.
Yeah.
He grabbed my hand and then pulled me in and goes, "We don't shake hands, we hug.
That's-
We're
yeah.
family.
We're family."
And he
Yeah.
gave me the biggest hug.
Yeah.
Almost verbatim. That's
Yeah.
Sean. And the thing is that's authentic.
Absolutely.
Here's the irony. That shit fucked me up.
Why?
Because that's not how the whole scene was. That was just Sean. And that was my first perception of
Right.
the scene. So I thought that's how we all treated each other in the
Right,
scene.
yeah,
so
yeah.
I started reciprocating that to other people. And
Sure.
people were like, who's this fucking Jared guy acting like we're best fucking friends?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
That's what it was, and like, but he was just. I mean, that was my introduction. I was just like, oh my god, I'm fucking. I haven't reached the pinnacle, but I'm where I want
Sean
to
is
be, dude. You know,
Sean is both the greatest and the worst possible ambassador for the local Minneapolis
He's so
music scene,
fucking
'cause
happy,
he
dude.
will make you feel so loved and welcome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the point is that is not how everyone in this town acts.
Oh yeah. Oh no. And that was you get to
Unless
learn
you're
that
in
over
unless
yeah.
you're in the club,
right.
Then
But
you're cool.
you do learn that as things go on. I mean, I had fucking. You remember musicscene.org?
Mm-hmm.
I had people talking shit about me all the. I don't know. I knew who the fuck they were. And they were the same fucking people who would look me in the face and shake my hand and ask me to fucking play shows with them all the
I'm gonna
time.
mute this because I have to tell you something that I don't know if I told you in Texas. You guys get to still watch this, but you're not gonna know what I'm saying.
Was the lead singer from Cold Colors, and that fucker, dude, he would just. I mean,
Oh, we're unmuted now.
oh, sorry. We're all family here.
Fuck you.
But they
you're a
would,
dick.
yeah, and they would fucking. I mean, it was just, it was ruthless, dude. They posted one of our video, first
his name
video.
John?
I don't fucking know.
The lead singer from Cold Colors. He was the biggest dick. in the
Oh
scene.
my god, it
Biggest
was
dick.
crazy,
And here's
dude.
the craziest thing. He knew that and enjoyed it and took pride in that.
Yeah.
Like that was the
But
vibe of Cold Colors. Was
that
to
was
be
the
better
most
than everybody. Like
Two-faced bullshit that I fucking.
Yeah.
And Maddie was like, "Dude, don't say anything. Don't fucking revoke." And it would took everything out of me because I would
I think
see
his
that
name
guy.
was John, wasn't it?
I don't know, but I would see this guy at these shows, you know, and he would come up to me and shake my hand. Hey, I'm blah, 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 from Cold Cars. We should play a show together. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm gonna fucking punch you right in the face, you piece of shit, you know. But Maddie would he kept us all under control, you know, and like said, don't say anything, and it did actually work well to not say shit, right? But it didn't stop me from going to these fucking threads, right?
Right.
So I wanted to see, and for
This was
a while
This was social media
before social media was there, right?
Because MySpace existed.
Yeah.
But MySpace, it wasn't what we now think of and know of as social media. It was different because we hadn't evolved to use these platforms the same way. However, in these message boards, which is what musicscene.org was back in the day, and it still exists, but it is
Oh, it
not.
did? I thought it was taken down.
No, somebody bought it. If you go to musicscene.org right now, it'll still come up, but it's not the site that we used to fuck with.
Didn't Stupor Dave? Wasn't he the one that kind of ran that thing?
No, I thought it was him. I have no idea. I don't remember who started it, but the point is the toxicity and the clickiness and the weird shit talking that would happen on this message board that wouldn't happen in real life. It was the first time I think any of us and I don't think this happened in other towns, because I don't think every town had a musicscene.org.
Yeah, wasn't that just a Minneapolis thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, at least a Midwest thing at best. Now, they might have had a musicscene.org type of website in other towns, but I still don't think so.
Yeah.
But we started to see, for the first time, how we're treated in public and how people talk about us when they have the anonymity of the internet behind them.
Yep, with their handles.
And one of the greatest compliments I ever got was on that website.
Was it really? Oh.
Yeah, it was.
Man, we got tore up.
It was literally, and of course, I only focused for a while. I only focused on the first part of the sentence, even though the point was the second part. Say what you will about that Jared kid.
Yeah,
but he will give you 100% of a performance, whether there's 5 people in the room or 500 people in that room. And I was a baby. And they were like, say what you will about this kid and his talent and his skill, but this is one of the best performers in town.
Backhanded.
Like already. And they went on to elaborate.
Sure.
And I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody who wasn't anonymous. They were respected in the scene. They were very established. Somebody like Lance Vane or Vane or it was somebody like that.
Okay.
Where they were like, say what you will about this kid, but I've watched this kid in front of 5 people, and I've watched him in front of 500 and 1,000 and 1,500, and this kid will give you everything he's got every fucking night, no matter how many people are there.
How you play, dude? Yeah.
I took more pride in that, because that was the first thing that, and I'm sure you've experienced this, where you set out to do a thing, and not only did people see it, but they acknowledged it and then praised it.
Sure.
Totally different from, I want to be a great singer, and then people are like, oh, well, he's a really entertaining frontman, but nobody calls you a good singer. I knew I wasn't a good singer, so I wanted to be the best frontman I could be, and people were acknowledging that and then praising it and giving me props for it.
I mean, that's
very, very euphoric moment for me. And ironically, it came on the same site where some of the nastiest shit about me has ever been said.
I would get ripped to fucking part, man.
You
like,
were good. That's the difference. I was entertaining.
Yeah, but I felt like
actually good.
See, I didn't think that was the best singer, right? But like, we put on one fucking hell of a show, dude. I mean, that was a thing, and
I think you were a great singer.
I appreciate that, man.
No, I
don't give
myself
a lot of credit.
You're a good singer, if not a great singer.
Thank you.
I was not. You guys definitely had a very good live show.
Yeah.
I was a great frontman and entertainer.
I remember seeing you. Absolutely,
dude. I
did
did not have the singing skill set that guys like you and the other caliber had.
Right.
And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm going to put you up there with, guys like Wally and Montoya.
No, I would never be put up there. Those guys are fucking brilliant, dude.
Level.
Yeah, I mean, they
those
really
guys,
are.
None of those 3 fucks, Wally, Aaron Dahl, and Jeremy Montoya, none of those fucks should even be local anymore.
No.
They should have blown up a long time ago.
Look, Wally especially. That guy, oh my God,
honestly,
he can fucking sing. Montoya is incredible too. Like, that kid can fucking sing.
Dahl is borderline supernatural.
Yeah.
Aaron Dahl from Emergent is borderline.
Oh, he is, yes.
I mean, that guy, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah,
if
he
you
can
don't
sing.
like him, I get it, but don't fucking
his talent is unbelievable.
And that's what I'm getting at. Is for the viewers and the listeners, like, if you don't like Emergent, if you don't like Aaron Dahl's voice or his style, fine, I can't argue with that. That's your opinion.
Right.
But do not fucking tell me he is not insanely talented. If you can't see through what you don't like and still acknowledge talent, then you don't have the ability to evaluate
absolutely
talent.
Like, that dude is brilliant on a different level,
It's
right?
almost supernatural.
Lyrically,
Yep.
the way he sings, the way he's able to like the way he writes. I mean,
exactly.
dude,
The
it's like
notes he
fucking
chooses,
unbelievable,
the
right?
rhythms, the way he flows through the music, and then, like you just said, his actual voice, the execution of his parts as well.
Yes.
I mean, I think he's probably the best singer in town.
Yeah, and
he doesn't.
I've seen those guys a
And
couple
he doesn't
times.
want it.
He doesn't want it. Yeah, I saw those guys a couple times. I saw him at First Ave one. I was just super fucking impressed with him. That was after I had left, you know, and man, that was
But don't get me wrong, you were still a great singer, and you were definitely in that next tier of motherfuckers who can be a real pro.
Here too.
I realized I was not in that category as a vocalist. Like,
Right.
I realized after a while I was gonna either completely have to, like, all of a sudden, like a snake, shed its skin so I could get bigger and stronger.
You could scream, dude. You could growl.
That I was going to be pigeonholed. I was going to either have to stay in my lane, I was going to have to figure out a way to be a great singer.
Yeah.
Or the third option, which is what I decided, was that no matter how good I get, I cap out at best as like a regional novelty act who's big in the Midwest.
Dude,
maybe.
you listen to some of the shit that's out there now, though. I mean, it's not all talent. I mean, it's nowadays. In all honesty, man, especially with the way that music sales are going and how it's a song on Amazon or Spotify or whatever, you don't have to be a great singer. But what you do have to do is put on a fucking show. And that's the main thing. And people will watch you and hear you and not give a shit. Not go, he missed the wrong note there, or he's a little flat on this, or he's a little sharp on this. People don't give a fuck. People want to see a show.
God, I do. I do.
I know you do. And us as musicians.
A buddy of mine's in a cover band. I seen a video on social media. It's his side thing. It's a cover band.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be too specific.
Don't be.
But the singer was flat.
See, that's a different. I mean, the whole time that's a different thing. But you know.
Well, you know, but it's Instagram, so it's a 10-second clip or whatever.
Sure.
But it was like the first time I heard it, like, you know, because it plays in it just loops if you don't scroll. The first time I was like, oh, that's not bad, and then it started over again, and I immediately went, that's really bad.
But
like,
we're singers, right? And so we see, hear, and pick out things differently, right? And so even on our albums, you know, the 13th Step albums that we released, I always would focus in on these tiny little fucking details that maybe I was flat here or a little sharp here or something. Nobody else fucking heard that, right? But I was there. And then Maddie would pick out little fucking things he may have missed. I didn't hear that shit. You know, or Chewy or Trevor would hit the drum at the wrong time or do something that he heard, but I didn't fucking hear it. All I heard was my voice,
Jeremy
right?
Blake did that once too. Like, we were sitting there listening to a playback of a demo we were recording. And Jeremy's like, what's that sound? And everyone went, what?
The fuck are you talking
and
about?
He goes, right there. And everyone's like, I don't hear it. And he goes, I'm telling you, there's like, and I can't remember what the sound was. It was like a something weird, an anomaly, an audio anomaly.
Yeah.
Ian had to literally zoom in and then zoom in. So he had to make the track taller to widen the wave, and then zoom in, and we found right in the middle, there was like, and I don't remember what had happened, if he had like accidentally clipped a string with his pinky or something, but we pulled it out, and he pulled it to a new track so we could shadow AB him one, and when he pulled it out, now we could hear it.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, dude, right?
Him, but nobody heard it.
Yeah.
Except for Jeremy.
That's crazy.
And as soon as he identified it, he wouldn't let it go.
Right.
To the point where it was almost annoying the rest of us.
He's our Trevor.
He went in and he found that fucking anomaly, that audio anomaly in that guitar track.
Yep.
And when we pulled it out and we A-B'd him back and forth, we were like, oh, that does sound way better without that. Like,
really? Yeah.
We couldn't hear it.
Yep. Trevor did the same thing. I don't. Well, Trevor did the same thing when we were releasing
Who's Trevor?
Our drummer.
Oh, that's
at the time,
right.
Trevor.
That's
yeah,
right. Because after Sean left, you guys actually got a good drummer, and that was Trevor from LTD.
Yeah, LTD.
Fucking one of my favorite drummers locally.
That kid
ever.
could fucking play. But let me tell you something. Like, I love Trevor like a brother, right? We were recording our last album, and he heard this hit.
I'm gonna piss. I can still hear you.
He heard this hit, and we couldn't fucking figure out where it was. He heard it every single time, and he said it was off time. And so we're sitting there trying to figure the fuck out what he's talking about. And eventually it got to the point he didn't want the producer, the engineer, to use, to cut it out and put it in the right place. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. Maddie had no idea what the hell he was talking about. Chewy had no idea what the hell he was talking about, but he fucking heard it. And he refused to let the engineer move it to where he wanted it. He felt that if it was moved, that it wasn't him. We sat there for 2.5 hours while this guy tried to get the right hit on the drums, and for some reason it just kept coming out the wrong way to him, and I never understood. And eventually, the whole band started to get a bit annoyed with it, and eventually, I don't remember if we decided to just fix it, but I think we decided just to fix it, and he was so upset about it, and it was, that's that perfectionist, in these musicians that is so hard to avoid, because there is so much that goes on and goes into making a record, and you want to make the best record that you possibly can, and you also want it to be you, right? So I never really liked effects on my voice. I never really liked doing things that would change who I
never realized how loud that dehumidifier is.
Whatever.
But I would often, it seems super quiet in here now.
But I would always be okay with, if they had a recommendation or suggestion or something like that, I would always be like, okay, fucking do what you want. Fine. I don't like it, but if that's going to make the record sound better, fine. Well,
especially being so new.
Yeah.
That was your first band, so you don't know better.
That was my first record,
and how do you come into, because you came into a band that, again, I hope people understand this, they were already drawing well over 500 people before you joined the band.
Yeah.
So you didn't just join a band and like I did, or start a band and build this thing
pay
from
the dues
zero.
And,
Like you jumped, so as a new musician, as a new vocalist, who's the newest band member, it is not an easy thing for you to stand your ground and pick which hill is worth dying on, because these guys have all the answers. They know everything else. Why shouldn't you trust them to critique your vocal parts?
Right.
Well, later on in your career, you probably figured out the answer is because they're not fucking vocalists.
Exactly. And that's the other thing too. It's like, I was always pretty open.
But at that time,
we took some weird fucking turns, dude. And like, that's where I kind of like saw, and you learn, you grow with the band. I was in the band for almost 8 years, so you grow with the band, you learn things, and you kind of come into your own. And once you come into your own, you're able to kind of make the decisions that you feel that you want to make. Right. But the problem is
Brian, his name wasn't John. His name was
Brian. Fuck you, Brian.
God, he took so much pride in being a condescending prick. Because I remember I got close to John Rail hanging out at Area 52, the keyboard player.
Yeah.
Sweet dude.
Yeah.
I still to this day have a soft spot for John Rail in my heart. Like, I hope to run into that guy and get to become friends with him again.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed having conversations with that guy. I was like 18, 19 years old. He was a fucking awesome guy. I loved him. And I confronted him about that one night.
Did you really?
And he goes, yeah, that's kind of part of the shtick. And I went, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, it's the whole point is to be pretentious and condescending. And I was like, oh, and it all clicked for me and made sense. I still never really liked Brian.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't make sense.
It makes sense. Like, that was
I guess
part of their thing.
That was kind of the thing. Okay.
It's like, it was very European.
But it was
they were very artistic, and they were very macabre and very, you know what I mean? Like,
but it was also kind of, it
goth
pulled
almost.
them out. But I mean, you know what I mean? They didn't want it. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I kind of want to give him an out.
Yeah, sure. No, I understand. I get it. I kind of figured that out.
It wasn't that Brian was actually a bad person or
Right.
anything.
No, I didn't think it
was
was
part of the shtick. They took pride in being dicks
Right.
to everyone.
And that band
condescending
was
and being pretentious.
talented.
Yeah,
Those
they were
guys
really
could
good.
fucking play.
When you seen them play live, you were like, "Fuck, these guys are good." I don't even want to like them, but I kind of have to.
And that's the
just out of
problem too. I
respect.
think they kind of like fuck themselves with that kind of an attitude, right? Because everybody knew that they were the
think it
ones
also-
talking shit. You
But
know,
I think it also is what made them popular.
I mean, I suppose. I mean, I knew who they were. You know,
Like,
before
if
I even
they-
fucking joined the band. So I guess
Think of it like this: they were a WWE villain.
sure.
Like
A
they
heel?
were the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were a heel
Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah.
It was brilliant if you really think about
But
it.
they
It's
would.
one of the
They were also.
smartest things
But they
I've
were
ever
also the
heard of.
same guys that were. You know, we would headline and they would play a show. They'd play before us,
I know.
and then they talk shit about the headliner.
Yep.
You know, and just it didn't make. How do you ever expect to get to that point if you have nothing decent to say and respectful to say to the people that are actually, you know, on that next level
there's
where
a
you
lot of-
want to be,
And
right?
there's a lot of really sweet dudes who were in that band. Lance Veen, great
yes,
guy.
those guys are all nice dudes.
Glenn, fucking great guy.
Yeah,
Andy Oltmans,
yeah, I'm
stubborn as a fucking ox, but great guy.
nice guy. Yeah,
So it was John Rail. I already said.
yeah,
So it was like when these guys were in that band, though,
Yeah.
and it really wasn't even all of the band members. It was mostly
it was just Brian. Yeah,
But it was all. I don't want to say it was an act, but it was part of the art.
Yeah, sure, and
Does that make sense?
I get
Kind
that.
of like
yeah.
almost like Prince.
Right.
Like Prince was known for being a dick
Right.
and being condescending.
Yeah.
And thinking he's better than everyone.
Right.
That's kind of what Brian was doing.
Right, but the problem with that is
wasn't
when you
Prince.
come up here, when you come up to me,
The problem with that is you're not fucking Prince.
when you come up to me and you shake my hand and you ask me to play a show with you, and I know that you're talking shit about me on a fucking obscure website,
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to tell you to
back to the music scene.
fuck off.
In
Yeah,
case people are
so-
confused. I know we're all over the place, but that's what this podcast is it's a hang.
right?
Yeah, so back to the music scene.org reference.
So,
yeah. You're right. And it was very disheartening. But at the same time, especially now that I have a podcast, I
Yeah.
realize that when people criticize you, it's usually true. Like
Yeah.
rarely is it completely made up
The
bullshit.
problem was he was kind of right. You know, like he was. I mean,
If they're actually
when
doing
he
it
was-
in public,
when
like
he-
if they're making a comment and they're going, "You fucking suck, you talk too much, Jared." Okay, you're
But-
probably right, and I need to listen to that.
Yeah.
The ones you don't want to listen to are the motherfuckers who don't have the balls to even say that shit in writing online.
Yeah, that's
Fuck me
true.
at
That's
anonymity
true.
Angle, let alone
Yeah.
to your face.
No, I
is
agree.
what they do is they do it in secret behind closed
Behind closed doors, behind your
Oh, you don't
back,
wanna
and all of a
fuck
sudden
with
you
that guy.
fucking.
He's
Yeah,
I got a message. I had a fucking podcast guest. Okay.
yeah.
And I got a message from a girl. Pretty sure it's a fake account. Can't prove it,
Sure.
but it's a woman. It's a gorgeous.
Yeah.
And if it is a fake account, it is one of the best catfish accounts I've ever looked at in my life.
Sure. You just lost your train of thought. didn't you?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to completely quote, and I don't want to name this person, so I'm choosing my words. I would be careful getting close or involved with this person.
Yeah.
They're a terrible human being. And so I replied, that's super random and a very heavy accusation
Yeah.
for a random text message or private message, whatever,
Yeah.
because it came through social media.
Yeah.
No response.
Really?
But there are people willing to try to fuck you.
Yeah.
And this was a guest that came on my podcast.
Okay.
This didn't happen to me.
Okay.
But I know that other people have tried to do this to me.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. We're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Like themusicscene.org. People
Yeah.
talking shit, trying to fuck you over.
Yep.
It happens.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
where we started this was, the point is we all kind of understand this now.
Mm-hmm.
Musicscene.org and where we were at that time was kind of the first version of this.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It was fucked. Do you remember when, this is one of my favorite memories, was pissing you and Maddie off? Oh man, the look in your guys' eyes, you were so mad.
What did you do?
I take so much pleasure in this. So We're doing this battle of the bands at the Rock nightclub. We're fucking crushing. We're in the finals.
I wasn't in the band at this time.
Yes, you were.
Was I really?
Yes, you were.
We played a fucking battle of bands? We've only done a couple of them.
You weren't in the battle. We
Oh,
were in
you
the
guys
battle.
were in the battle. Okay.
You were standing side stage. It was you, Maddie, and someone else.
Okay.
Could have been Trevor. Could have been Chewy.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But because I remember, because I was close with you and I knew Maddie really well.
Yeah.
So we're in the battle. We're in the finals. We're fucking crushing.
Yeah.
And we make the announcement. Next week, we're going to be playing here direct support to Head Charge.
You did?
And
that was our gig, wasn't it?
It was supposed to be allegedly your gig.
Allegedly.
No, seriously, and everybody's fucking like, what? Giving us the like,
oh,
awesome
really?
eyes. And I turn over and I look at you and I look at Maddie, and the look of spite and anger that came over the two of you.
I don't remember that.
Dude, you stood there and you just went like this. You were like, good for you guys. But you were still pissed. I could see it in your eyes. You were furious.
Was
but you
I?
were like, but you gave me the little like, good for you guys, man. Good for you guys. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Maddie turned around and left. Like
Did he?
He turned around and walked out that back door. I later found out that Brian had allegedly, or one of the other bookers, because there was 2 or 3 people meddling with affairs.
Yeah.
Somebody had told you guys were going to do it, but the person who actually called the shot, and I don't remember if it was Bill Berry or if it was Brian himself at this point.
Okay.
They called me personally and offered us the show.
Really?
And I remember the conversation. I was like, dude, of course we want to do it, but can I please ask you one favor? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, please don't make us open. Like, at least let us play second. And he's like, well, I was going to put you on as direct support, but sure, second's good enough. And I was like, no, we'll take direct support.
Wait.
We'll take direct support. And it was so funny. And he's like, no, listen, like, behind the scenes shit, I need you on this bill.
Yeah.
Because you guys are the only ones that actually sell tickets and make me money at my bar anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody else draws people, but they guest list everybody.
Yeah.
You know, they don't drink enough, whatever. He's like, Dying Euphoria actually sells tickets, and I make a lot of fucking money off you at the bar.
Yeah.
And Head Charge hasn't been able to sell out this show. I need you to jump on this bill because you're going to sell the bill out. Yeah. And we did. We sold like the last 300 or 500 tickets from jumping on that bill. Because then that's when I understood how much of a business this really was. Yeah. And I had already been in it for a while. It's really not about entertainment and any of this other
not
shit.
at
It's
all.
about numbers.
Yeah.
And when I realized we were being put on that bill because coming from this battle of the bands and the hype we were building and this momentum we were on, they knew we could sell that last 300 to 500 tickets. Yeah. Because Dying Euphoria and Head Charge was an event. Right. Whereas just Head Charge and the first 2 opening bands was just a bill. Yeah. That was the first moment where all of these lessons I had learned over the last, since I had been 12, basically, from the biker cats I had hung out with, all the way up until Bill Berry, Joe Spanbar. That's when it all clicked, and I went, oh, I understand how this works now. Oh, yeah. We knew that from the beginning. You know, we knew that from the get-go. Most of us didn't. Yeah. Most of us didn't understand, like, and I still hear it on this fucking podcast, well, I don't really do it for the money. Well, good luck getting a fucking show that
exactly. Dude. That's not going to fucking work, man. That's how everybody does it.
If you're not in it for the money, you're not going to get booked because bar owners, venue owners, they're in it for the money. That's a bullshit fucking statement anyway. I hate it, dude. It irritates me so much because it's like, dude, yes, you're in it for the money, or you're in it for fame, or you're in it for power, or you're in it for pussy. You're in it for something other than a love of music, because if it's just a love of music, you wouldn't leave your fucking basement, dude. Exactly. And that's, we just love music. We would write music together, send it to each other, record it together. And our goal wouldn't have been originally, and we would never let anyone else listen to it. The goal wouldn't have been, for fun. Yeah, the goal wouldn't have been to sign a record contract. You know what I mean? Who gives a fuck about that? Oh, I just do it because I love it. And we wouldn't put it on Spotify. You don't. We wouldn't put it on iTunes. Exactly. We wouldn't put it on YouTube. Yes. We do these things because we want something. Yes, absolutely. We want something. And most of us as musicians are needy. Oh and my God! Yeah. And we need validation. Yeah. Maybe we didn't get it from our parents, or we got bullied at school, or we grew up skinny like me and got bullied. So you do 2 things: you become awesome at something, and you learn how to fucking fight. Yep. Everybody has their own fucking motivations. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're doing an art publicly,
yes, you love it because that's why you fucking do it.
Exactly.
But that's not why you do it publicly.
No, absolutely
There's
not.
something else there, and I think most of us are dishonest. So let me ask you, what were you in it for back then? Was it money? You wanted to pay your bills, or you wanted to be rich? However you want to look at money. Was it fame? Which can simply be peer recognition, right? So like my big thing was I didn't want to be famous like in tabloids, but I wanted to be baller enough to where somebody like James Hetfield would come up someday and be like, dude, you're fucking dope.
Yep.
And then I'd be like, I made it. Boom.
Right. Yeah.
It was fame, but it was peer recognition.
Yeah.
Same thing. I need validation from somebody else in order to make me feel like a legit musician.
That was a lot of my shit.
So
I
fame,
mean, obviously,
default to the fame
absolutely. But obviously, I loved to be on stage. That was my thing. But the goal from day one was to be able to make enough money to pay for fucking buy my dad a car, buy my dad a house, let my dad retire so he didn't have to fucking work anymore, get my sister money so that she, you know what I mean? All these things, those were number one on my mind. The love for it is there no matter what.
Right.
That's always going to be there.
Exactly.
That's always going to be there. But our goal in 13 Step from day one, we're going to sign a fucking rock contract.
Analogy for you, and I know you already get this, but for anybody else who's not already on board, you work out.
Yes.
You have and can train people.
Yes.
Okay, you work out because you love it.
Yep.
You train people because you want to make money doing it.
Yep.
Boom. Money is your motivation
That's
for being
exactly,
a trainer.
that's
Nobody
exactly
asked you why you train.
Yeah.
The question is, why are you a trainer?
Right.
Because I want to make money doing something I already love doing.
Exactly.
There's your analogy.
Like I said, the love is there.
Hopefully the
doesn't
last
matter.
group of people finally get it. Because not everybody's on board with this.
It's
and
become
I think they're lying to themselves. And
they
I think
are.
they're in
And it's
denial.
become, with this new generation of bands coming, it's become that cliche. Oh, I just do it for the love. I do it because I love music.
You know what you're also doing is
Bullshit.
immediately giving everyone permission not to pay you for your art.
Exactly, and that's the other thing
You're
too. Is like you're
devaluing
devaluing
yourself.
your band. You're devaluing the love that that love that you have for what you do. You don't have to value that. You fucking do it because you want to make fucking money. You love doing it, great. But how great would it be to make a shit ton of money doing what you love?
And you know what you do it for the love of? Or you know what the love is while you're doing it? That's the practicing. That's the rehearsal.
Exactly.
That's all the non-glamorous shit that you do to be great.
Exactly.
That's why you love it.
Yep.
Is because you practice for 3 hours a day, every fucking day. You go to rehearsal 3 to 5 times a week with your boys. Those are the non-glamorous things you do because you love it.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as you step on a stage, put your music on iTunes or YouTube, or you seek anything like, now there's another motivation why you're taking it to that level.
And
I think the faster we identify what your motivation is, the faster we can help each other be more successful.
Exactly.
If you're trying to make money, okay, here's what you got. Here's why you're not making money. Here's what
Exactly.
you need to do to make money. Oh, you want to be famous? Here's what you got. Oh, you want to get pussy? Maybe stop wearing khakis and a button up like you just came from a fucking accounting job.
That might draw some women.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, no, but I understand it. Yes, absolutely.
I want to get fucking laid, man. Like, I got divorced 5 years ago. I'm a great guitar player. I wasted my fucking life. I want to get fucking laid, bro. Okay, cool. Here's the deal. We need a complete physical makeover because this ain't going to get you any pussy.
I had that done to me. Dude.
Oh, I wasn't actually talking about
but
you.
No, but
the
that was
us.
That was done to no, but that was done to me. You know what I mean? And that was, that's when other people came into the band where I was like, eh. But anyway,
I know what you mean though, because 13 Step was very big on the image.
Oh yeah, big time. It was all about that. You know what I mean? And that came from me too. Like from watching Moog and from watching Vince and all these guys on stage, I saw that. I saw that
back too.
I don't know
if it's more comfortable. Like, you can pull it all the way back.
But I saw that. You know what I mean? I saw the theatrics and what they wore. Moog had the dreadlocks and the striped socks.
Do you remember I had almost a uniform? I
wore the same thing on night
every night, a black wife beater.
Yep.
I had black Dickies and
white
that's
shoes. What I did.
We did that because we wanted to be able to edit our video. We were trying to make videos, and we wanted to be able to edit everything together. So at the right angles, you wouldn't know that wasn't from the same night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
it
I
wasn't
get that.
my idea. It was our bass player Kevin's idea. In retrospect, I think it was fucking stupid.
Right.
But it made a lot of sense then. So that's why I had my little uniform style.
Yeah.
We wore the same thing every night.
Yeah. But I mean, I had
what it is.
when we kind of were going towards that second level, we brought in a new manager, and then we had somebody put us in touch with, a upper echelon manager. His name was Bill Coyne. And Bill's main thing with me was my image. I would wear a wife beater and long shorts on stage. You know what I mean? He's like, take your fucking shirt off, paint your body, and that's what you're going to do. Because he goes, that's the only way.
Now so when did you guys get this manager? Because this is interesting to me, and we have plenty of time. We're doing really good. We're only about an hour and 20 minutes in. So, because this is some shit I really genuinely wanted to talk to you about on the podcast, and I'm hoping we have enough time to get to how the fuck you got into hairstyling. I find that transition fascinating.
It's a lot easier than you think, man. I'll let you know.
We've had this conversation before. I just want to do it again, a little bit more in depth on the podcast, because it's a fascinating journey. But no, you've actually explained this to me once before, and when you explained it that way, I was like, no, that totally makes sense. You're right.
Yeah.
But so we've established that you joined this already well-performing band.
Yep.
But they hadn't gained any real equity or notoriety on the national scene until you joined. And it was a while after, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, seemed like out of nowhere, you guys started fucking with some national cats.
Yeah.
And I always say it was like somebody involved with Slipknot. Is that
no? That's that's Nuisance crew who got in, or Nuisance who got with Sid from Slipknot. It was Kiss.
Who did you guys start fucking with?
Okay, so
it was dude from Kiss, or somebody.
It was
with Kiss?
Their manager, Kiss's manager. So what happened was
sentences that start with what had happened was is usually bullshit.
Yeah,
except
no,
on this podcast,
this is the real deal. This is what happened.
Podcast,
you're gonna hear the fucking story, and I know a lot of people have kind of wondered about this over time and shit like that, and they've heard different stories and they've heard different fucking rumors about exactly what went on. But here's the real story. So anyway, Maddie had been in touch with this manager, or this person. I think this woman. She was, I fucking loved her. Her name was Terry, and she was a great person. I adored her, and she, for some reason, I think she was some NASCAR racers, big time NASCAR racers manager. I think it was Nick Gordon or some shit, some fucking huge ass name. And I don't know how he found her, but he did. And she decided that she wanted to manage the band. She had a fucking shit ton of money. She was paying for shit for us. We got an RV. She would make payments on the RV. She would do all these great things. And she booked us at a show in Cabo and all these crazy things. And she paid for everything. She took care of it. She's like a mom, right? So eventually, another guy comes in, and he's a guy that's well known in the scene. I don't want to name his name because he's probably...
Hold on. I'm going to mute it.
Okay. And
okay, we won't name it. We're off mute. We won't name him by name, but fuck that guy. He's the only person. Actually, no, there's two people. He's one of two people who've actually asked to be paid to come on my podcast.
Right.
Fuck that guy. But he gave you guys a leg up, so
he didn't.
Now it evens out. No,
he really did. He kind of did. Here's the deal. So anyway, for some reason he gets involved, and I don't know how he got involved. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if Terry had done something or Maddie had gotten a hold of him. I don't know where he came in. This is how oblivious to everything that was going on in this band at the time. I was oblivious to this shit. I just fucking thought that people were coming in and they wanted to fucking hear us, right? And so this guy had been, his band, who was a very well-known band from back in the day in Minneapolis, he had apparently, that band had apparently been managed by Bill Coyne, who managed Kiss. And if you watch the Kiss story on biography or whatever, watch the Kiss biography on E or whatever.
Kiss Street.
Yes, he is a huge part of why Kiss became such a marketing giant. He was a movie guy. He wasn't a music guy. He made movies.
Sure.
And he saw this theatric band, you know, and so he turned this band into a fucking empire, you know, and he had also managed a band called Lordy. Have you ever heard of Lordy?
Yeah.
They're kind of like Gwar, but yeah, they're from the UK. So he was managing them at the time, apparently. I don't know if this is true, but whatever. So this guy got us in touch with Bill Aucoin. Bill Aucoin comes out for one of our shows at the Caboose. And I can't remember who we played with, but the place was packed. It was awesome. It was a big show. And so while we're at the Caboose, Bill asks if we can go talk somewhere. And so there's that second floor at the Caboose, right? And up the stairs okay. So we went up the stairs and we were talking to him, and he goes, okay, I really see a lot of potential in you guys. I really do want to, jump on board here, but we have a meeting that we need to have tomorrow to talk to you about what you need to do in order for that to occur. And we're all fucking
smiling.
I know.
Camera.
Listen,
people who are listening on audio can't tell, but I'm smiling off
camera
because it's like, here it comes. Here comes. This conversation will either ruin everything you've ever done and destroy it and make it look like a fucking joke, or it can actually work out.
Right.
And turn you into an actual profitable band where you never work again and you do music in some capacity for the rest of your life. I'm smiling because I already know how this story ends.
And I would say 9 times out of 10 is the latter. It's the first one. The first one, the former.
Yep.
And so we go up there, and he wants to meet for dinner with us. So we go to this nice steakhouse. Terry pays for everything, and he sits down and he talks. He
Where'd
goes,
you guys go? Do you take you to Manny's?
I think it was actually. It was some kind of fucking steakhouse.
Did it have a giant bull with huge testicles?
No. This was like, it was weird.
Then
I
it's
think it
not
was
Manny's.
Manny's. Actually, I do.
You can't miss that painting.
Dude, it was so fucking long ago, and I was so drunk all the time.
The testicles are so large on the bull, you can't possibly have forgotten
I don't
this.
remember the balls, dude, but trust me, it was probably there. And
I don't think it was.
I probably
Manny's.
did
It
something
was that other one.
inappropriate with him. Probably the
There's
other
a
one.
second one.
Is there?
Yeah, because trust me, you'd remember Manny's.
Okay, I've been there before. Anyway, he comes to dinner, and we're all eating, and he sits down, and he's talking to us. He goes, okay, this is what I need. I need you guys to go into the studio. I need you to write 5 more songs for me, and I'll come back. And then once I see those 5 songs, I'll see you guys play live. You guys can perform a little bit for me, and then at that point, I'll make my decision on what we want to do. And this is all you have to do.
Is this a private showcase he's referring to?
No. He's just talking to come see us play, right?
Just a regular
show.
Okay.
And so the fucking crazy thing is that it just so happened that when he was going to come back was the weekend that we played direct support for Five Finger Death Punch. And at the time, Five Finger in
we talked about this
I know,
a lot. Oh,
was huge.
The drummer of Five Finger is coming on the podcast.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Good for him, dude. That's awesome. Good for you. That's cool.
Good for him. I like your first version. You said good for him.
Yeah. But anyway,
we made it. It's official, baby.
Yep.
It's official. Cheers. Thank you. That's the greatest compliment.
I don't have any beer left. I grab one. Anyway, so he's
the best compliment I've gotten on this podcast. I'm gonna clip that and put that in the new intro. The drummer from Five Fingers coming on the podcast. Good for him. And clip.
So anyway, we get in the studio and we start fucking writing. We write 5 songs that we think are pretty fucking good, because it took us a really long time to write these 5 songs. Normally with our songs, when we would write them, they would be written within maybe a day or two. It was just kind of like on a whim. Like Maddie would come up with a cool riff, and I just sit down and start trying to fucking put, I never wrote the lyrics right away. I always kind of just put, where I would write the melody and stuff like that, and we would just kind of go through it, And so they would always be on this whim. And so we had really never experienced having given an assignment. We've never experienced, being given an assignment to sit down and say, you guys got to write this amount of music in this amount of time, right? And so I feel like in that last, in those 6 weeks or month or whatever it was, we wrote some really fucking, probably some of the best stuff that we've ever written, right? And we always, we came to these blocks once in a while and everything else, and it was kind of tough. But we went in, and like I said, it just so happened that we were playing direct support for Five Finger Death Punch. So not only did everybody know that Bill Aucoin was coming to the show, but they also loved Five Finger Death Punch in Minneapolis for a really fucking long time.
Yeah. Because they came here before they had either that's we've told this story a lot.
Yeah.
Five Finger played here either right before, during, or after
that first song went on the radio.
Yeah, that's when we played
single they had.
We played direct support for them too, and that's where the business comes in, is because they didn't know that they were going to be able to draw everybody. So we would play direct support for them.
So the owner of these clubs would call us local bands, because they'd have to guarantee Five Finger. I'm just going to say $5,000.
Yeah, probably at that time.
I'm just going to guess it was $5,000. It could have been way less, but maybe it was $2,000. Doesn't matter. The bar owners, the way it works when you buy a show, you have to guarantee the band X, and you have to pay them half up front. You may not be certain that that band can actually draw enough people and you can charge a high enough ticket price to make back your $5,000.
Right.
So there's a certain amount of money you're willing to lose as a bar owner paying that band, because you'll make it up at the bar.
Yes.
Because you make a lot of money.
That's the money.
Booze.
Yeah, that's where the money is.
Where they supplement that and kind of hedge their bet is they call the local bands in their town that they know can draw.
Right.
Like you just said, this is the business side. They help them guarantee, or get as close to a guarantee, that they don't lose money.
Right.
Doesn't mean they're even going to make money. That's the crazy thing, is these bars and these bookers, the way it usually works is they usually lose a little money, lose a little bit of money, lose a little money. Boom. Make it all back plus a little bit of profit.
Yep.
Lose, boom.
Yep.
Lose, boom. And the point is when they make a lot of money on that fourth show, they're only really making up their losses from the first three and a little bit of profit extra.
Yeah.
So we get these calls to hedge those bets.
Yep.
And I don't think Dying Euphoria ever actually opened for Head Charge, or Five Finger. We may have, and I may have forgotten.
You guys were there with us. I think the second show that you had played with us, the second show. The first show,
you might be right,
was where they didn't really know what they were going to do. Five Finger Death was going to blip on the radar at that time.
They played here 4 or 5 times before they blew up.
Once.
No, they played here.
Was it really?
I know for a fact they played here several times, because I remember the escalation. I remember the first time they played here, we were all hanging out with them on their bus, partying, having a great time. The second time, which is understandable, we weren't allowed on their bus anymore. Right? That makes sense. That's only if you're partying on a musician's bus, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's only a matter of time before they close that shit down, because shit gets stolen.
Yeah. Oh,
literally. Then the third time they came through, we weren't allowed backstage in the green room of the Rock anymore. It was just for the Five Finger guys.
Yep.
And we were like, that's fucking weird. Like, I need a place to change and go up on.
That was that show.
And then the fourth time, we weren't even allowed beyond the gate where we stored all our drums near that door.
Okay.
Unless we were going on stage. We had to grab
that might have been after I was gone.
The fifth time, we weren't allowed back there at all.
Really?
So we had to set up our gear outside, and then right before you went on stage, you would rush all your gear from outside through that area up onto the stage. And so it was a total of 5 shows that they played in. They got douchier and douchier.
Hence why you hate Five Finger Death.
I actually don't even hate them.
I got to tell you something, man.
Everyone on this podcast seems to fucking hate them. I give them shit for how they handle that.
Yeah.
And when dude comes on, when the drummer comes on, he wasn't the drummer back then.
He's a new guy. Yeah.
But I have to address that, because we talked about it on the podcast, and I'm hoping they've course corrected how they handle things since then.
I'm sure they have,
because we really helped them get paid.
Well, Minneapolis did that too. I mean, Pablo from 93X is a guy that really fucking kind of invested in them. But I got to tell you, like,
industry, it was our
ours,
that helped that band, and then they kind of douched out on us a little bit.
I got to tell you, man,
so
best fucking.
I'm not even mad about it. I don't even hate him for it.
The coolest compliment that I ever got was from Ivan, and it was the first time that we opened for them, and we were 13th Step at the time.
Yep.
And he was really humble. I mean, at that time, he was very humble. He was drinking with all the fans. He was out there before the show and everything else. And so we get on stage and we're playing right before them, and then I look over and the band, Five Finger Death Punch, is up in the green room watching us. I thought it was fucking awesome. Like, I've never had a national act come out of the green room to actually watch us play, right? And so the show is over and everybody kind of clears out, and Ivan's still there. He makes it a point to come up to me and say, look, man, we've been to a lot of fucking places, a lot of fucking cities, and we've seen a lot of bullshit fucking local bands, because I tell you what, it was a fucking honor to share the stage with you guys.
Wow.
Yeah. And he gave me a hug, and I thought it was the fucking coolest thing ever, right? And after that, his label, the independent label that he was on, I don't know if they had people come to our show, but they knew who we were.
Yeah.
So he spread the word about us, right? So anyway, getting back to Bill, we get to that Five Finger Death Punch show, and we're sitting there, we're waiting for Bill. We're waiting. And finally, it's time for us to go on. And I'm sitting around going, where the fuck is Bill? And Maddie's like, oh, he's at the hotel. Terry's going to get him and everything else. So we get up on stage. About 3 songs in, I see Bill Coyne walk in, and the place is fucking packed, dude. And I mean, fucking wall to wall. They overbooked it completely,
I remember
right?
the show.
And so
like, it was a true sold out show.
It was insane, right?
And
yeah.
they, like you said, they went intentionally. Because Brian's dope.
Yeah.
Bill was dope.
Yeah.
Fucking
they were a good
Dave
guy.
Hall was dope.
Dave Hall. Fuck yeah,
And
man. I fucking love that guy.
Was happening, and they overcapped that show on purpose.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember sneaking in the back, because I was at the point where I didn't even need a guest list.
Yeah.
I was so well known at all these clubs.
Yeah.
Like, guys security would come grab me out of the line.
I'm with Jared.
No, for real. They'd see me in line and they'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing in line?" I'm standing in line for the show, and they're like, "Come here."
Yeah.
And they just bring
we all
me
got
through.
that. We all got that.
We all got that, 'cause we were crushing it.
Yep, exactly.
God damn it, it was amazing. The scene was popping. We were crushing it.
It was.
And so they would fucking and at that point, by the time this was happening, I didn't even need to pretend that I was standing in line. I would literally just walk in back. I would literally just fucking park in the back.
Yeah, we could all walk in the back and be fine.
I would open the door sometimes on my own. Security would be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Jared?"
Yeah, all those guys.
I'd literally walk to the fucking booth, be like, "Hey, guys, I need a wristband." They'd slap. No questions. It was dude. We were kings.
Yeah, Paul Clevin and Tom.
Fucking Paul was
Pantera.
one of the door guys.
Yeah.
Oh God, we were kings.
We were. It was awesome.
And they were a part of that scene too. Paul's still a friend of mine.
Yeah, so Paul. I still talk to him. Oh, do you really? Yeah. I talk to him on fucking line all the time, dude.
Paul came over last
I comment on his pictures.
Paul literally came over during the riots last year to
help
me
he?
fucking mark suspicious cars. He's one of the reasons we were able to see the people casing the house next door.
Dude, he's one of the sweetest. He's one of the kindest guys, man.
No,
he fucking loved every bit of that shit, you know.
All those motherfuckers, dude. I think you just named him. I always forget his name.
Darpinel.
Who's the kid? Who's the dude who had the ear gauges? Like, everything's tatted, bald, white kid.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Oh my God,
Jackson. What's his name?
Paul. If you're watching, what's his name? Because you worked with him. God, and he's a dope dude. I still run into him every once in a while.
Good guy. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Fucking cool.
He fucking loved all these bands, man.
Sweetheart of a human. Looks like a fucking literal
madman.
Rapist. Sweetest guy.
Yeah, sweet guy. Yeah, absolutely.
But I remember this show. So they did this on purpose. They overcapped this show.
Yeah.
I remember walking in backstage. I remember walking up, getting my wristband, turning around, and I didn't know what was going on. So I remember turning around and I go, since when did people give a fuck about these two bands?
Yeah, right.
No, I literally remember and I didn't mean it like a dick.
No,
it was like, what the fuck
what just happened? Yeah, what happened?
And then literally somebody from the scene, probably Chad, somebody with a brain, was like, they're fucking showcasing for Kiss's manager or something.
I think Buried by Hope played that show with us too.
I think they did too, yeah.
So
it was a heavyweight local bill.
Like, it was. It was.
Including. I remember whoever was on that bill. I missed that band.
Yeah.
I don't remember who opened that bill.
I can't remember either.
I missed them, but I remember thinking, "Wow, if that's the opening band,
right?
Like, wow, that's a fucking solid bill."
I can't remember.
Which I shouldn't have been surprised when I showed up and the place was over
packed
capacity because it was a
like
national
crazy.
show.
Yeah,
you guys were on it. Buried by Hope was on it. I think you're right. It was Buried by Hope, and then there was another legit band. Like I
want to say Nuisance might have been
something
there.
Like that.
Yeah, it was a big show.
It was like whoa, or B or something like that.
You know what?
It was somebody like that. Where it's like, whoa, that's the opening band.
Yeah,
like, oh wow,
it might have been
okay.
or Osteria. I can't remember. Anyway,
So you're in your third song of the set.
my third song, I see Bill walk through the crowd, right?
Billy walks in.
Billy walks in, and he's walking through the crowd, and he kind of goes to the side where, kind of all the other bands hung out. They let him through. They knew who he was.
And you're saying this from stage.
He's over
on the right side where all the bands hang out, the merch tables,
so the tightness,
the drums,
right?
Everything.
Yeah, the tightness in my gut just loosens up because I thought for sure.
Anybody that knows the rock nightclub, but you can kind of put yourself in the room.
Yeah, and so he walks through and he watches us on the side of the stage, and we had this great.
Gabriel in the Apocalypse, I think is the.
Was it? It may have been. It may have been. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
We had all these phenomenal fans, dude. Like these kids that were just, God, were they fucking awesome. And Jordan Swanson was one of them. He was kind of like the first big fucking fan. I'm so proud of that dude for what he's doing right now with Chili and all these other guys. He's so fucking, he went from, being a fan to being the super talented fucking band member, Yeah. Anyway, all these kids were out in front of us that had fucking followed us from club to club, and we had people from fucking stage to the back of the place, right? And so I'm sitting there, and we get off stage, and all of a sudden, and this is at the point when we changed to UFA, so all of a sudden we're sitting there, and these kids are just screaming UFA, just because they knew that he was there, right?
Okay, so Chad definitely says that Buried by Hope played that show that we're referring to.
Okay. So
who was the opening band? If you guys remember who, because this is gonna fuck me up. I think it was Gabriel in the Apocalypse.
Honestly, I don't.
But it could have been
fucking
Nuisance.
remember. It could have been Nuisance.
It could
have been B. It was one of those.
It could have been Dying Euphoria.
No, Dying Euphoria went on right before us. They were third or they were second. So there was one other band that opened up the show, that warmed up. I can't remember.
Well, it definitely wasn't that show, because I wasn't playing this night.
No, you were there, but you weren't playing that. Yeah.
So
not Dying Euphoria.
Buried by Hope.
Buried by Hope. No, Buried by Hope played right before us. Yeah. And then there was one other band. I wouldn't say Asteria, Antitrust, Bernie's old band. I can't remember who they fucking put on.
So like old school music language, there's the opener, there's the guest act, that's second.
Yep.
Then there's direct support.
Yep.
That's you.
Yep.
And then there was the national headliner, which was Five Finger.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out who the actual opening act was.
I remember.
Neither can I. But if you guys remember, please, because Chad confirms they were the ones that were the guest act on that bill.
Okay.
They were second on that bill.
Gotcha.
And there might have even been 5 that night, now that I think about it.
It might have been. I don't know. I can't exactly remember. But anyway.
Was it 3? Fuck.
No, it was Buried by Hope did not open. There was one other one. Yeah, there was definitely one other one. So he goes in back, we see him on the side of the stage, we're playing, and people we get off stage, and they're just chanting UFA, UFA, UFA. We walk off the stage, we're on fucking cloud 9, we're feeling great. And the first, I always made Ivan's sitting out there, and he's like, how does it feel, man? I'm like, they're ready for you, brother. And I fucking walk by, and I get on the bus, and I change my clothes. I always had to fucking change of clothes, because I didn't want to walk around stinking like a piece of shit all night.
Yeah, I mean, as a vocalist, it's crazy. You get off stage.
Oh, it's the best cardio workout you ever have in your life.
But people think it's all fun and games. It's like, no, dude, you get off. You lost 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah, you're soaked.
But you've also gained all that weight back by soaking your fucking clothes. I remember my jeans. I'd have a crotch stain.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just in my crotch, it ran down my legs. It was like a big half circle.
Yeah.
Because the sweat would run down my body. And
you probably pissed your pants, you bullshit. That's
no. If I pissed my pants, it'd run down my leg.
Well, you'd also admit to it, so.
Right, for real. Because I'm the guy who pushed so hard, he literally threw up on stage more than once. Like, that's how hard I pushed myself on stage. I almost puked playing drums once, too, because that's how hard I fucking pushed myself. I will absolutely admit that. No, but we would soak our clothes to where I did that too. And did you get compliments? Because I always got compliments when I'd get off stage. People would be like, oh, you smell good.
No.
I did, because I would fucking shower before a show.
Yeah, I would shower before a show.
And then I'd wear my fucking deodorant, but I'd always, still to this day, I spray my cologne on my skin.
I never did that.
So then when you sweat,
it comes out,
mixes with the cologne, and it mixes with your natural pheromones, and it seeps into your clothes. So then when you take your fucking sweaty ass shirt off and you change your pants and your boxers and you switch into clean clothes, like the only thing left is that original cologne hit with a little bit of sweat, but most of that sweat you've removed now. And so, yeah, I'd just simply do exactly what you said. I'd have a change of clothes, and then I'd go hug people, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you smell good."
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
never
what?
got that.
And they'd go, "Most musicians stink." Because they're living
Well,
in
it's
vans.
soaking fucking wet, you know.
They're living in vans.
Yeah.
They're living in vans, not washing their clothes properly. They've run out of deodorant, you know, and musicians, really good ones on the road who aren't famous or rich, usually stink really bad, like homeless people, especially if they smoke cigarettes.
There's no place to shower, dude.
I didn't. And I was curious if I was the only one. And so
no,
far,
I fucking always brought change of clothes. Always.
You never got compliments.
I never got compliments. No.
But
no.
Nobody ever told you stunk?
No, I never stunk. Dude.
Which means some people thought you stunk and they just didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything, probably.
Yeah.
Shwa stinks.
But so you switch clothes.
So I switch clothes. I come back
off the bus.
I get off the bus, and Maddie's sitting there with Terry and Bill and the other guy. And Bill is just, he looks amped. He's like, "Oh, Jesus." He's like, "You guys did a great job. I'm going to shop you to Metal Blade. I'm going to shop you to Roadrunner this week. I'm going to shop you to Interscope this week. All these fucking all these labels." And at that point, you know, we're getting ready to go out and fucking drink with our, you know, with the fans and stuff like that, because that's what we always did. We got shit-faced with those guys, and we go back to our studio and continue to drink.
The after parties were so epic between your spot and A52.
Yeah. Oh, it was
Our
awesome.
after party scene was epic.
Yeah.
I mean, friendships, marriages.
Yeah.
People got married at Area 52.
Yeah.
That's how, like...
It's crazy, dude.
Sorry, I don't want to keep sidetracking.
No, you're okay.
I want you to get through your story.
Anyway, so Bill, you know, he's sitting there.
We're fucking dope, and that's what you guys were getting ready to do.
Yeah, we're ready to go to that party.
Back to the fucking infamous, the same warehouse where I almost died.
Yes.
Twice on the way to White Castle.
Yep.
We referenced this earlier. If you just joined.
No, this is the warehouse. This is the one we were downtown. We were downtown Minneapolis. The two. We were at that little kind of apartment place. No, not in Blaine. We had moved out there.
Not the same warehouse. A different warehouse.
Yes,
that's
we were
how fancy
downtown Minneapolis.
You just had a bunch of warehouses.
This wasn't a warehouse. This was like an apartment, basically, where Maddie lived, and we had a studio built into like this kitchenette and all this other whatever. Anyway, it was cool. So anyway, Bill says he wants to go meet us for dinner again the next day. Well, Maddie said, you know, Maddie told us that Bill had said to him, "If I bring my briefcase to dinner, that's a good sign. You know, we're ready to go. We're going to sign up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's eat some. Yeah, let's eat some steak. You know,
you're going to present me with a contract that I'm going to have some lawyers review.
Right, and that's
like, I ain't signing shit at dinner.
And that's what it was. And we were, you know, we talked to Terry about putting it. At that time, it's like, dude, if he gets it, we're fucking done.
Yeah.
And then we had the two people pulling the strings that were like,
so
just if he gives you something, you fucking sign it, right?
That's the problem. Is we were so young, we were so excited, we were so naive.
Yeah,
you get something in front of you, you're way too eager to sign that. Not just you. I don't.
And
mean
that's
that
happened
you.
a bunch of fucking times. Yeah, I mean, it's like it happens all the fucking time, especially now, man. Like now, it went from record labels being like these, you know, these great kind of, not necessarily great, but these kind of hubs where you could make some money and do the right thing. Now they're just these fucking just shitholes that basically will screw you over. These kids, especially.
I think real record labels are few and far between now. Man.
No, they are. They absolutely are.
I don't even know if that's a thing in a realistic,
if I could give
scenario nowadays.
If I could give any young band coming up, any advice, the first piece of advice I would give them is don't sign with a fucking record label. Get the fuck away from them.
Whereas I would say it depends. It depends on the deal you're given, man. Because
but
you might find a Sumerian Records that ATB signed with that's going to actually do some great things.
Do something for you. Yeah.
Like those labels. That's why I said I tried to choose these words fairly conservatively. They're few and far between because there are a few labels out there, including large ones,
that
are still legit and will legitimately fucking really do some good things for you. But that's just not the way the
you have
business
to
is built.
You have to be really careful. They've come out with all these new deals. We can get into that in a second. So anyway, we go to dinner the next night with Bill, right? And Terry's there and the other guy's there.
And he's bringing his briefcase.
He didn't bring his briefcase.
He didn't bring the briefcase.
No. And so we're sitting there, and I'm kind of looking, and I was really, the funny thing is like I'd worked in the record business, so I was really kind of, not necessarily skeptical, but I was careful, right? So I kind of knew, I didn't really know where this was going to go, but I knew how to react to it, you know? And so he shows up without it, And we're like, whatever. So anyway, he sits down and we start talking a little bit, just kind of small talk and bullshit. He's trying to avoid, I think, what the actual subject of the dinner was supposed to be.
You feel like he's beating around the bush.
Absolutely. And so he sits down and he goes, you know what, guys, I really, really like what you're doing, but I need to see more music. And I saw 3 guys. I'm sitting across from Chewy, Maddie, and Trevor. Bill's right here in the middle. Terry's next to me, and I don't remember where the other guy was. But I saw 3 fucking hearts just break in front of me, right? Their faces were just like,
I'm chuckling because this makes 100% sense, and he was correct.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there going, and the second that he says that, first thing that comes to my mind is, fuck this guy. I don't want to have anything to do with this shit. Fuck
Outsider
this fucking dude.
Outsider looking in, I'm going, yeah, he's right.
He is right. And he was.
You guys got everything going except for writing great music.
Yeah.
You're not writing good music at this point. Like, you're good. Chewy's good.
Yeah.
Trevor's good.
Yeah.
Maddie is technically good.
Maddie was very good at coming up with creative stuff, right?
But the package, the actual songs that were being written and presented, had zero.
The problem with that,
zero artistic integrity, especially on a catchy pop song, single style.
The problem with that is the conversation that we had the night before, right? So he got us all amped up.
Yep.
And so we were thinking that we're going to be shopped this following week, right? And I didn't know if it was a test, but the first thing that came out was, fuck this guy. I don't want to fucking do this. And Maddie's sitting there, and he's the only one that was willing to speak up and be like, look, Bill, we did what you told us to do. We worked our asses off. When are you going to start representing us? And Bill goes, I told you, when you start writing some different music and blah, blah, blah.
What he's telling
and
you,
he said,
and he probably just didn't do a great job, is what he's telling you is what Jesse Weber said on this podcast. Jesse Weber's in the Failsafe, doing very well.
Right.
Band is doing very well.
Yeah.
Very well. He was from the band locally here called the Phoenix Philosophy.
Yep.
You remember them?
Yeah, I remember
them. They
them.
were from our era.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were a good band, but lost a battle of the bands.
Yeah.
When one of their friends was the judges. One of his best friends was the judges. And he thought he had it in the bag. They outdrew everyone. They thought they were going to get all the votes, and they did win the vote.
Yeah.
But the judges have more power than the people in the crowd.
Right.
So you can't rig it.
Right.
Just outdraw. And Jesse's like, dude, and this happened on, Jesse told this story on the podcast. You guys can go watch this. I'm just going to quick sum it up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He goes, dude, what the fuck? And he goes, I love you, man, but you got to write better songs.
Really? Is that? Yeah.
And literally, Jesse's entire ego
just got
came crumbling down. And he had to dig deep into his soul.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a professional athlete, and rebuild and reapproach what he was doing. And I'm so proud, dude. I convinced him and his band to start a Patreon and start a version of a podcast, like a once a month Q&A, and they're doing it. They're making money at it. I'm so proud of these guys.
Dude. That's awesome.
And I checked in and I watched one of these Q&As, and a question was asked by one of their fans and followers, and sure as shit, Jesse says, yeah, I realized I needed to ask myself why this riff is in the song. Is this riff in the song because I think it's going to be really fucking cool to play this shit on stage in front of a bunch of people stroking my ego?
Yeah.
Or is this riff in the song because it makes the song a better song?
Right.
And as soon as he started thinking those things, shit started getting kicked out of songs.
Yeah.
Here's my point. To draw an analogy to what this guy is telling you at this time is, listen, you're great live.
Yeah.
You play the business angle great. But your songs are fucking weak, bro.
Yeah.
And he didn't say it like that. But that's what he should have said. Because if I were him, that's what I would have said.
Right.
I'd have went, look, here's the deal, man. I buy in. I'm into this.
Yeah.
Okay. But I shopped you.
Yeah.
Your songs are fucking weak, bro.
Right.
Everybody that matters who's going to make a decision, 13th step, Your songs suck.
It was UFA because he made us change the name.
He had already so UFA at this point because he had already
which you think is bullshit, and
it's one of the dumbest names in the history of the music industry.
Listen, man, I was not bored with it either, but you know what?
Freaks of America misspelled to meet the new metal quota.
IEKS, dude. Come on, man. It was sweet.
Names. I don't even think I properly misspelled it in the description. I'm pretty sure I did FRE.
Well, you did it twice. You did it twice because I did tell you that.
That was in the tags.
Yeah.
I'm saying the actual description. I think I spelled it correct, which is incorrect. Fuck. This is what I'm saying. So I spelled something right, and now I spelled it wrong. Like, fuck this new metal bullshit. That was the dumbest band name.
Listen, man, it was one of those things. And you know the fucked up thing about that name? It was a fucking mistake. Because we wrote a song called Haunted. And
Oblige. The opener was a band called Oblige. Chad has the flyer.
Okay. I remember Oblige. I think I remember them. Anyway,
kind of a cool name.
The way the fucking UFA thing came up, listen, I wrote a song called The Haunted. It was about fucking poverty and homeless kids in the U.S., right? The line was, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United Fakes of America. And everybody thought I said fucking freaks because Maddie would use that fucking word all the time.
Freak, yep.
Yes. And so everybody thought, oh, United Freaks of America. But no, it was fakes, dude. And like, it just
So the entire
stuck.
idea was built on a fallacy,
a mistake.
Misinterpretation of one of your lines.
Yeah, not misinterpretation. Didn't know the one word. One fucking word.
Misinterpreted your line.
Yes.
From fakes to freaks.
And we called our fans the freaks to begin with, and so it just kind of went off. It just kind of became its own monster,
I wanna call my
right?
fans sluts.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So anyway, we get to dinner, and there's nothing there. Maddie says, look, we did everything you told us to do. We thought you were going to shop us. You told us you were going to shop us yesterday. And he's like, nope, sorry. If you ask me one more time, I'm going to fucking be out completely. He got pissed. And the first time I ever saw Bill Coyne pissed.
Say that again. Can you repeat that one more time?
So Maddie says, what about yesterday? We told you told us yesterday that you're going to shop us to all these. No, I'm fucking, my phone is ringing. Anyway.
You keep, all the long since he's been here, he keeps checking his watch every 5 minutes. And then, like, when he first got here, it was like an hour and a half before the podcast
I'm a busy
started.
dude. No, I'm not. I don't care about the fucking time.
Like this, and I'm like, dude,
sorry, man.
Have plenty of time.
I don't care about the time. I see fucking shit. My daughter's like texting me and shit. Anyway,
it's because she's probably watching, and
she's like, Daddy, where are you? I'm like, I'm living the olden days.
Let her watch this.
Anyway, so Maddie goes, look, you told us you're gonna shop us yesterday and all this other stuff, and Bill finally gets pissed off, and he's like, look, if you fucking ask me one more time, I'm gonna be out completely, and that's gonna be the end of it, right?
And this was to Maddie's question of what?
Of basically, we did everything you asked us to, and you told us last night you were going to shop us to all these record labels. So what happened between last night and now, right? That's kind of like where he was going
Maddie's
with it.
Just not getting it.
Well, we were,
either
like I said, we were young.
We were a bad communicator, which I have a hard time believing because of the success he's had in the industry.
We didn't know Bill was a cocaine addict. So Bill was all fucking spun up the night before, right? And so he was saying all this crazy shit, and he probably either didn't remember or didn't fucking care, right? So, and he's passed away. He's passed away since, which is fucking sad. But anyway.
But that means we can also talk shit about it.
Right, exactly.
No, that's fucked up. Don't talk shit about a dead man.
Dude, he's a fucking brilliant man, dude. Trust me. What he did with Kiss is unbelievable. Anyway, we get back to it. So
don't talk shit about anybody who's not in the room to defend themselves.
Exactly.
That's the real rule.
Brian.
Fucking. I'm just kidding. I actually defended him for himself.
Yeah, you kind of did. You kind of did.
I gave him an out because I was being genuine with that too. It wasn't just a shtick.
Right. No, I get it.
No, because I really do believe in that. Like, don't talk shit about people when they're not there to defend themselves. Right. It's unfair.
Yeah.
Because you can spin anything. Anyways, keep going. So Bill, dead, cocaine.
Yeah, anyway, so Terry and the other guy take us back to the fucking, we go back to the studio, our practice space, and we sit down and we start talking. And they're like asking me, basically, they're asking us, what do you guys want to do? And I'm sitting there going, I really don't want to fucking do this anymore. I don't fucking believe in this guy, and I don't fucking believe he's telling us the truth. And I don't know if he necessarily has our best interests in mind. And so I basically just kind of like, I didn't. I was kind of excluded because I was the only one who thought this, and so, Maddie and Julie were of the mind, basically, and Trevor were of the mind. This is all we have right now. So let's continue to work with this guy and see where this is going to take us. And I was so fucking like blinded. And this goes on to like, this evolves into the regret that I have from leaving 13th Step, because I just was so fucking closed-minded on things. And I just didn't want to really do things that I felt weren't in our best interest, and I didn't like the business side of things, and I was really just fucking wanting things to go back to the way they were when we were playing, clubs and playing the warehouse and playing all these things, because that's when I was having a really fucking good time. And so we're sitting there, and Maddie and Chewy tell me basically, look, man, it's all we have right now. And I was of the mentality that just because it's all we have doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing for us. And that was the point where basically, our manager had said, let's just continue to do these things and keep moving with it and try and and I was just fine. I was like, all right, I'm along for the ride. Let's fucking do this and let's keep going with it. However, I wasn't happy. At that point, practice became pretty much a fucking chore to me. I didn't like it.
Singers are so fucking high maintenance.
No, it wasn't. I was so fucking
like women.
Well, and at the time,
happy.
No, well, at the time, I know. At the time, I'd met a girl too, and and that was
Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy Blake. He said, "I'm here now.
Hey, buddy.
Start over."
But I met a girl
from the top.
Yeah, right. So I met a girl at the time too, and everybody thought that because I met that girl is why I fucking really wanted to go. I didn't want things to evolve. That's completely untrue. And the band evolved the way that I would have liked it to see it go. The vision that I had. I would have never let a girl fucking keep me from going to practice or any of those things. I fucking loved doing that shit, right? But it came to the point where I just wanted to stay home, right? And I just hated the business side of things. I hated seeing, the guys get, hearts get broken on a regular basis. We were sad. Everything came down to whether or not Bill was going to sign us on as one of his acts, right? And I fucking hated that. I hated it because I didn't think he had any intention of doing what he said he was going to do. And from
the outside looking in, though,
2020,
especially in retrospect, using 2020, I think he did and was trying to tell you your songs were weak, bro.
And that's possible, but I honestly, I don't know at this point.
Like,
yeah.
As much as I love you and love that band, and as much as I think highly of you and Chewy and Trevor,
right,
and even Maddie
they weren't hits.
His own way.
No, they weren't hits.
And that's the thing. Here's the point. It also wasn't catchy. Like, I don't remember a single. I don't take pleasure in saying this,
right,
bro. But I want to make sure that we put these things. I can't remember a single 13th Step song.
You don't remember Get Up, dude?
No.
Oh. So people fucking know that song by that.
The fact that you can do that. We've already
I'll tell you what, every
the
fucking
thing.
I know. Listen, I know that Chad remembers that song, so because he's heard it a million times when we were on tour with him and shit.
I'm just gonna say this: that song has already lost all credibility. When you can go.
But yeah, no, there's still, like, honestly, there are songs on our past albums and shit that I don't fucking remember. If we were to get together today and go and practice for a comeback show or something along those lines, I wouldn't remember the fucking half the lyrics I wrote, dude.
Don't do that.
No, I wouldn't remember half the lyrics I wrote, right?
So this whole thing doesn't end up working out.
No,
obviously.
And so things got really kind of rough, and like I kind of started.
Basically, the band broke up shortly after this.
I left. So the band, I started to kind of seclude myself, and so the reason is because I just I wasn't happy at that point because the business stuff started coming in. I don't think I was prepared for it necessarily, and I just didn't fucking like it. And I really cared. I mean, I still care about Chewy, Maddie, and Trevor so much. They're like my fucking brothers to this fucking day. So I would kind of like after practice and stuff, I would, go up and just kind of play on the computer or something like that. I wouldn't really get involved in the band meetings and stuff. We'd always have a meeting after practice and kind of sit down and just shoot the shit, whether it was just to like small talk, or it was to talk
Sure.
business, right?
Right.
And so I started to kind of exclude myself from those things. And I kid you not, the day that I left, I had no intention of leaving the band. And I go, after practice is over, I go up like I normally do, and I start playing solitaire or something on the computer, right? And I like I said, I was just kind of tired from all the bullshit. And so the guys are talking, and all of a sudden it gets silent. And I kind of notice it maybe 5 minutes after it got silent. And I kind of turn around, and I'm looking, and I'm like, fuck, So I walk down, I'm like, are you guys okay? And Chewy says, look, man, you don't seem like you're into this anymore. Do you even want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And I told him flat out, I'm like, look, I just don't like the direction that this is going. I don't think that Bill has our best interests in mind. I don't believe that the other guy is trying to do something for us. I think he's more in it for him.
Right.
And I think Terry's just kind of there along for the ride. And I don't think that she's giving us the best advice. I just don't like what's going on. And I probably sound like an egotistical prick right now, but I was so fucking...
No, you don't sound like an egotistical prick. I'm going to tell you this right now, but you do sound like you don't know what you're talking about at that age.
I didn't. I absolutely did not, but I was fucking upset.
I can only say this now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I get it.
If we would have done this podcast a week after this, I would 100% be regurgitating with whatever you're saying. It's only with the wisdom and experience I have from the outside looking in to be able to go, no, dude, you guys handled this horribly.
Yeah.
As a band, as men.
Absolutely.
You fucked this whole thing
I was a kid.
So... But I don't want to beat this dead horse.
Right.
We know the ending to that story.
Right. And I basically got yelled at, and I said, fuck off, and I walked out, and I told the guys I'm done.
But somehow, being the newest guy of that band.
Yeah.
Well, no, Trevor was the newest guy.
Trevor was the newest, yeah.
But he had more equity than you and experience.
Yeah, he'd been in other successful local bands.
With LTD, who was started by Dave Rogers, who was a founding member of Head Charge.
Yes.
You somehow pulled out of that and got the better end of the career because you were somehow able to leave that and join Primer 55.
Yeah.
So when you abruptly left in not a good situation, you're bros now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
But you didn't leave like, hey, guys.
It wasn't a happy.
It
wasn't happy.
Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not to say that I didn't try and get back in, because I did. And they turned me down. So
wow,
yeah,
they did not handle that well either.
But it was. I get why. I understand why. I mean, it was a month later where I texted him like, "Look, let's have, I hope cooler heads can prevail here. I'd really like to come back. I miss you guys and all this other shit." But I get it. And so I finally got a phone call from Trevor after texting and calling and messaging a million times, and Trevor just said basically, "Look, we're happy with the way things are going right now. We don't really want the drama." And
which was nowhere. They were going nowhere.
Chewy became the new singer.
Which went nowhere.
It didn't go anywhere. But there's a reason why it didn't go anywhere, I think, more than anything. I think Maddie was contacted by Primer 55, and I think Maddie didn't... Oh, am I looking at the fucking watch again? God damn it, there's a fucking... Anyway. I'm taking this shit off, dude.
I just started cracking up off camera and off mic. I just started cracking up because
it's gone.
Since he's talking and he looks...
My ring went off, dude. My house.
And then I start cracking up.
I have a sweet truck.
He didn't even realize he was doing it. That's...
Sorry, I have a sweet truck. My fucking alarm on my camera went off at home, and it's pointed right at my fucking vehicle, and I don't want anybody touching my shit. So anyway,
you got a beautiful tan line.
Thanks, man. I know it's a second watch. It's cool.
You look super dark, and that tan line reminds me of how white you actually.
It's amazing, dude. Check. Oh, you can't see it on camera, but it's like right there. It's beautiful.
You can see it on camera. It's just not as apparent as it is in person.
Yeah.
Okay, so you leave 13th Step.
Yep.
Abruptly, not on good terms. You try to rejoin, doesn't happen. They kind of shut you down. Terrible decision on their part, by the way. You guys didn't do better afterwards. You didn't upgrade yourselves like Beyonce tells you to do. You fucked that whole thing up. All of you.
Thanks, man. I still love them.
And I'm not saying this from a point of judgment. I'm saying this from a point of experience because I've fucked things up.
To this day, I'll tell you what. I fucking regret that. I regret leaving. I regret it so fucking much, dude.
I'm not harping on you.
Yeah.
I'm not harping on Maddie. Maddie or the band. I'm saying all of you fucked this up, and I can say
Completely.
this with confidence because I can relate to this because I've done these things.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you personally resurrect your career? Where are you at emotionally after this? You try to rejoin, they reject you.
Right.
How brokenhearted and how much confidence do you lose that you can't even make it back into your own deal?
I'll tell you what.
Get to the Primer 55 thing.
I was fucking devastated, dude. Because I remember
on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest.
Yeah. It was an 11.
No. I mean, like 1 being your lowest.
My lowest, yeah.
Where were you?
I would probably say a 1, maybe a 2. It was one of those.
That much. From
it was, yeah. I mean, because I understood. I took a lot of flack for that too. You know what I mean? I got fucking people commenting on my MySpace at the time, calling me a fucking poser and a piece of shit, and nobody really knew what was going down. I mean, even Maddie's brother was like, "You need to fucking fix this." And I'm trying to fucking, try to get back. And I remember, I was writing I text them and be like, over and over again, you guys would really like to come back. I'm really fucking sorry. Can cooler heads prevail here? Like I said. And like when the funny thing was when I got the call from Trevor, I was a personal trainer at the time, and he called me at work. And normally I would have fucking set the phone down because I was working. But I fucking couldn't. I was so excited that I saw that fucking phone call that I was hoping that was going to be it. Hoping that he was going to say, look, come back. Because at that time, we were having auditions for other singers and whatnot. What are you looking at? Oh.
I'm reading Jeremy's comments. He's talking about that song you brought up.
Yeah.
He said he remembers that song. He used to play it at Dying Euphoria jams when the guys wouldn't stop talking. Now I remember that riff. Yep. I remember that riff because I'd be arguing with somebody. It was usually me arguing.
Chad would play that fucking one all the time too.
I wasn't always in the wrong either.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I was arguing with Jason because Jason was trying to fucking make excuses for shitty drumming, or sometimes I was arguing with Tim because Tim wasn't actually doing what was happening in the song, and it usually wasn't Tim's fault, it was Jason's fault, but I was still yelling at Tim, or I'm fucking arguing with somebody about something. Usually it was me doing a lot of talking at rehearsal. Like, Jeremy's right, because he'd go and I'd look at him and I'd go, if you play that fucking riff one more time. And he would giggle, and he'd go, that's a 13-step riff.
Yep. Chad used to play that all the time too in the beginning. Oh, dude, complete. And you know what? It worked Listen, it worked well for us because everybody knew that fucking song. So anyway, fuck off, Jeremy. You used it as a way to shut people up, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's what 13-step riffs did to people.
Shut people up. That's awesome. Thanks, man. I'm glad I could fucking help you all out.
Were dope. And the guitar parts were catchy. But when the whole thing came together, that's where you guys fucking had some issues.
Shit.
Okay,
so anyway, post breakup, post leaf, I'm low as fuck,
You're
and so
not in a good spot.
Yeah.
Where did you do anything self-destructive?
No, I
didn't. Do anything that? So what
I was just depressed as fuck, and so
you're a personal trainer, but what are you doing daily?
Not working. I put everything to work, dude. And
what are you doing when you go home and you're not working?
Sitting in my bedroom watching TV. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to fucking do anything. And if I went out on the weekends and shit, I was drinking my ass off or doing some kind of drug, dude. And honestly,
why weren't you looking at other bands?
That's where it comes in. So I finally got sick of that shit. And my girlfriend at the time was friends with another girl that lived in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And her husband, Joel Seidlitz, who happens to be a fucking...
Wait, what was his last name?
Seidlitz. What? Dude, the guy is a fucking incredible fucking bass player, man.
It just sounds so sexual. His last name sounds so Seidlitz. Like it sounds like a weird slang version for vagina.
That whole family's amazing anyway.
I'm sorry, but when you said Seidlitz, the first thing that popped into my head was a vagina.
Vagina lips.
Like I saw a vagina.
Gross, man. Side lips. It's lits.
I said Seidlitz.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway.
Just displaying my third grade level maturity.
I got hooked up with him, and then there was Seidlitz, and there was some other guy on Facebook. You want me to fucking finish this? You're going to laugh at my friends.
Both. I want both.
I want both.
I'm just laughing at a name, dude.
So anyway, I get hooked up with him. And he decide. I find.
How do you know this guy?
He's just my girlfriend at the time, her best friend's husband.
Gotcha.
So
okay. Networking.
Yes, and there was another kid that I basically found on Facebook who could fucking play guitar like a madman. So I got a hold of him by private message, and this is how fucking desperate I was. And he had some really good songs, and he said he was looking for somebody just to lay down some vocal tracks on his songs. I go over to this guy's house. I don't know who the fuck he is. His name is
here in Minneapolis.
Yeah, his name is Chris, and I laid on some tracks with him, and it fucking went really well, dude. I mean, like, my voice was better than it's ever been. The songs were really cool.
Were you
and it was really
on your voice?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, and like I had so much fucking rest from tearing it up for so many years that it was at a different level at that point.
But you also didn't stop practicing.
No, I didn't stop practicing. I was always singing, dude. I've always sang, dude. So I got hooked up with him. We started this band called Piss and Gasoline, which is
terrible
like a
band name.
Dude, it was awesome.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
that's a terrible name.
Anyway,
oh my God,
dude,
Josh.
it gets better, fucker. It gets better.
History with band names is like quickly.
It gets better. It was bluesy. It was bluesy, but it was rock, and it was funny, and we did some fucking really kind of funny songs and all this. And I really liked it. Listen. And so we start playing a little bit, and we get finally Vinny from Nuisance gets a hold of me and says, "Hey man, we need somebody to open for us at Ground Zero. Could you guys come play with us?" And at the time, I was really good friends with Shags. I knew Vinny really well, and we're like, "Sure, fuck yeah, man, this is gonna be a big show for us. That's awesome. It's a new band. We're fucking doing whatever." The problem was that when it was my first time on stage since 13 Step, and everybody expected that type of music. Right? We get up on stage, and it was nothing like 13 Step. There was no screaming. It was just fucking bluesy riffs, kind of like groovy shit. It was still rock, but it wasn't like that aggressive form of rock that everybody was used to. It was like Slipknot versus Stone Sour. You know what I mean? Like that kind of fucking thing. So when the people that love Slipknot hate fucking Stone Sour. And I got looking at fucking people in the crowd, these people that have come to see 13th Step a million fucking times, and their faces are blank. At that point, I know I'm in the wrong fucking place, right?
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking crazy. And not only that, we're playing a metal show. They didn't know what to expect from us, and they cut us short. We played 20 minutes, and they said, "All right, Nuisance has got to get on stage, guys. You got to get off." What? And every band before us played a full set.
Who was the sound guy that
I don't remember, but it was at Ground Zero. It was the most
fucking names.
I want
fucking names. I want to fucking know who the fuck you mother.
It was the most demoralizing, embarrassing fucking moment that I've ever had in my life because I knew what was going on, right?
Dude, I've never experienced that.
It was horrible, right? And the music I felt was talented. You know, the guys were talented, right? Yeah. So I get off stage, and at that point, my ego was already fucking up here from 13 Step and everything. And I told Chris, the guitar player, I'm like, "Dude, I'm done. I'm fucking done with this shit. I don't want to deal with this anymore. That's fucking crazy that we got, you know." And he goes, "Yeah, I think it's a good idea too." So I'm like, "All right." So then, I was bartending at a bar in Northeast called Stanley's. Remember Stanley's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Me and my wife are big fans of Stanley's.
Yeah. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Maddie walks in. And
my wife and I. Sorry.
Yeah.
My wife and I
Maddie
are huge fans of Stanley's.
Anyway, Maddie walks in.
Apologies to the king for improper English. Sorry.
Maddie walks in out of nowhere. Oh, and I forgot. There was another show that we had played, and we were supposed to have. It was in Wisconsin at Joel's bar. Joel owns a bar. Sidelitz owns a bar called Four Corners, and so UFA was supposed to headline that night, and we're driving. We get there. We're waiting for those guys to show up. They don't show up. And so I finally just called Maddie and said, "Where the
Joel from Travesty? Is that who you're talking about?"
Travesty.
I'm sorry, bro. Joe,
yes.
I do not mean to make fun of you, dude. I apologize sincerely from the bottom of my heart, man.
They're in Bumblefist.
But it's my immature humor. I hear sidelets. I see vagina.
He's probably one of the sweetest men that you ever want to meet, dude. Way to go. You're making fun of a guy.
That's just making me feel worse, Josh. You son of a bitch.
Holy shit. So anyway, UFA was supposed to headline that night, and we were supposed to play right in front of them. I was super excited to see the guys. I hadn't seen them in fucking years, right? They don't show up. So finally, I fucking call Maddie. I'm like, where the fuck are you guys? We broke up. We're not coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, all right, well, that was the last time that fucking 13 or UFA was ever together.
You know, it's crazy because like a month ago, I'd have been like, oh, fucking, they're weak.
Well, the problem is that Maddie had already been hired by Primer 55 at the time. So
but here's the thing, dude. Like, I'm changing dramatically to where a month ago I would have called this weakness.
Yeah.
And I would have like looked down and judged this.
Yeah.
But now I'm completely sympathetic.
Yeah.
And I completely understand. Man, I get it, dude. It's fucking tough, man. Nah, dude, we can't even come out tonight.
Yeah.
Because we broke up as a band.
Yeah.
And I'd have been like, a month ago, I'd have been like, you're weak.
Yeah.
Be a man. Fucking go out.
That's kind of the way
I get it.
In all honesty, kind of the way I felt at that time, but now I do get it. You know what I mean?
The sad thing is I've actually felt that way before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't get it.
Right.
Does that make any
I get it. Yeah,
sense?
I get it. Yeah, yeah.
It's only now when I'm not feeling that way.
Yeah.
Because of the events in my life.
Right.
That I'm able to be sympathetic to that moment and that feeling where you're like, no, dude, like, I get that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, and now I'm going to be even more willing to defend people for making these bad decisions.
It's called growing up, dude.
Y'all don't really understand what it's like to be in that spot.
It is.
And I can say that with volition because I was the motherfucker who didn't understand what it was like to be in that spot. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, no, you're exactly right. And you grow up and you fucking see, you start to, there's like this sympathy gene that people don't have. You know what I mean? As they're young,
I completely 100% forgot that. Okay, so let's just quickly, because I don't want to spend all our podcasts on just this one segment.
Sure.
But this idea, okay. So you got this new deal going.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
Yep.
You get the call from, or you call Maddie.
Yep.
We broke up.
Yep.
But he had already been hired by Primer 55.
And that's kind of why I think.
So he's already in Primer 55 and had been trying to get 13th Step going.
Yep.
By any measurable version of the music industry.
Right.
He's more successful now than he was, but he's so depressed. Again, a month ago, I would have called this weakness.
Yeah.
Now I understand because it's 13 Steps was his baby.
Sure.
Primer 55 is a job he got hired for.
Yes.
They don't make it out. You eventually ditch this other project.
Right.
But now we're starting to bridge the gap for anyone, including myself, who forgot or didn't know this part of the story.
Right.
That's how you ended up back in Primer 55.
Right. Yeah. So
somehow, some way,
yeah.
Whatever happened in 13th Step UFA,
yep.
Maddie was either by repair, or because there was no issue to begin with,
right.
But the hatchet had been buried.
Yes.
And did you outright get the job, or is that just how you got an audition?
No, I never got an audition. I never got an audition.
So you just kind of got the job.
Just got the job. So Maddie and I started another band with Joel. Okay. And that, I can't even.
Old Sidelets.
It's called Suck a Punch. And we ended up actually doing some. We opened for Seven Dust. We did a few things at the Myth.
That band.
Yeah,
I remember that band. I used to make fun of that band name.
The name?
No, not. Oh, just the name. I was gonna say not the band, just the name.
Yeah,
because like I'm so obsessed with band names. I'm so.
I know you are, dude. It's crazy.
Good ones and bad ones. Like in most of the bands I've been in, I think I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
On good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad. I almost said most of the bands I've been in have had bad band names.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Let's figure this out real quick. 7 Months of Nothing. Bad band name.
Did I get a piss?
Really bad. Solace and Ashes. I'm going to say that one's neutral, but I'm going to also lean bad because it... Go ahead. You can piss in that sink if you want. But Solace and Ashes is a bad band name because it totally dates you in the genre you were created. The Tyrants was a dope band name. And whether I choose the Rivalry or Rivalry, I think that's a dope band name. Either version's going to be dope. So right there, I'm 50-50. And then Dying Euphoria, I don't know, man. I gotta lean. Jeremy, you're in chat. I gotta lean towards Dying Euphoria being a bad band name, especially after I heard the story. My guitar player Jeremy, in case anyone's confused, Josh had to piss. Yeah, so Dying Euphoria, from what I remember, the story was Jeremy wanted the band name The Dying Light or The Dying of the Light, something like that. It's like I think it's a fucking Faulkner novel, something like that. And fucking Jason wanted the word euphoria. And so somehow they blended the two into Dying Euphoria, which was a terrible decision. They should have went with Jeremy's idea. Whatever version, The Dying Light or The Dying of the Light, way better name. Way better name. Sorry. Just gonna say it. So I would, less than 50% of the band names I've been involved with were bad band names. So I'm not sitting here being pretentious like, oh, I fucking know everything about making a great band name. No, like I'm, again, speaking from experience. It was a terrible band name. I had one super dope band name, The Tyrants.
That's a cool name.
Dope name.
Dude,
especially when
you need to keep The Rivalry, by the way, not Rivalry.
It's 50-50. And I am 50-50, which is the only reason a decision hasn't been made.
Right.
Because everyone that votes, including the people in the band, are 50-50. The fans are 50-50, and I'm 50-50.
Yeah,
There's no deciding factor. Like, because I'm 50-50, I left it up to everyone else.
Right.
And they're all 50-50.
Have your fans heard your music yet?
I play it on the podcast.
Okay,
regularly. Oh, by the way, I got a clip for you guys as we're entering the third hour.
This shit goes by fast.
I know. Dude, I'm having a blast, by the way. And I think we're doing a really good job, but I want to play this clip for you before I forget, because this might be one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet. So, you know the TikTok platform? Yes. I hate it. So do I. There's only 3 videos I've seen that justify the entire existence of that format. And this is the third one. The first 2, I wasn't smart enough to send myself the link.
Yeah.
But this one should work. And this... I'm sorry, I'm snorting. This shit is so fucking funny. Hold on. I gotta switch games here real quick. All right. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. I'm
handsome, dude. Man.
You are pretty gorgeous. All right. It should be playing. Maybe not, because it's already played once.
Just perform it.
No, here we go. All right. This shit is hilarious. It's going to take a minute to pop up, but this shit, dude. Oh my God. All right. So now I need to go to... It won't autoplay because it's an Instagram thing. But, dude, OBS has gotten so dope. So you load up the link. See how I did this here?
Yep.
So I preloaded the link. And this is because I've been trying to show Josh how to do this for a while because I want Josh to start a podcast.
I'm going to start a podcast.
And he's got a very similar mixer to me.
Yes.
He's got the L8.
Smaller, but yes.
It's the same thing, though.
Yeah.
And it's everything you'll need for anything you'll do.
Right.
The reason I needed the L20 is because we're going to do a full band.
Right, yeah.
Right? We got big plans. But so here, now the new version of OBS, see how I clicked that link there? Now I can interact. It pops up this window, and now I can actually interact with the browser.
Does this play on?
Yeah, so watch this. So they can all see this. It's going to take a second.
What that lady behind me just asked me. She asked me, why am I shirtless? Why you think I'm shirtless? Because I just got done banging a dude.
That's the most... I didn't expect that one, dude. Holy shit.
Once. We're doing it once.
Jeremy knows what he's talking what they're talking about.
Damn,
Hell yeah.
Funny. That's the definition of comedy. You thought it was going to go as soon as you seen him and heard him start talking.
That went a different way.
You thought it was going one direction, and then it went a different one.
Yes, it did.
My favorite part about that, and why I played it today for you, coincidentally seen it this morning, but why I decided, because I'm pretty sure that guy's from Texas.
Guaranteed. Are you kidding me? Either that or Oklahoma, one of the two, or Florida. He's possibly a Florida guy. But
Florida man. He's a Florida man.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So let's try to get back to it. Okay. So you okay. So we're in this spot.
Yes.
You get the call from Trevor. It's devastating.
Yes.
It fucks you up.
Yes.
You start this other deal.
Yes.
Doesn't go well, or the way you'd hoped it had gone.
Right,
and
right.
I think that's probably what
It's kind of a side shit. I didn't really want to.
It was probably
Yeah.
going fine.
Yeah.
But your expectations were unrealistic.
That's exactly what it was.
high.
Yes.
But somehow, some way, you bury the hatchet with Maddie. Maybe there was never a.
There was really never
bury.
any bad blood. I mean, I remember when I left, when I sent Maddie the text message. Look, man, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. He sent me back a text message, and all it said was "fuck off." And I didn't know if it was, but with Maddie, the thing is like you don't know if he's pissed or if he's just answering. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing about Maddie is like. I don't think Maddie is capable of holding a grudge, man. Like I really don't fucking think that. Maddie's world is a different world. It's a very positive, happy place that there's no fucking bullshit in it. And it's almost kind of like unrealistic, but he manages to fucking live there. You know, he didn't know who the president of the United States was. He doesn't fucking care about politics. He doesn't care about anything going on outside of Maddie's world. And it's a great way to fucking live, man. Like, he's always fucking happy, you know? So I don't necessarily think he held a grudge or was angry, right? And so he came into the bar. We fucking started this other band. And I was always kind of adamant with him because I knew that he was playing with Primer, and so I just would fucking sit there and just, you know, Maddie, if you guys ever need a singer, anything like that, just get a hold of me. You know, let me know. I'm more than willing to go out on tour with you guys. At that time, the relationship with my ex had not worked out. I got rid of all that crazy in my life. She was a fucking nut, and I just kind of went my own direction. I decided to be, you know, just single for a while, do my own thing, just kind of ground myself after all the bullshit that I've gone through. We started playing music. We started writing music and everything else. And lo and behold, one day, Maddie calls and he goes, "You ready, dude?" And I'm like, "Ready for what?" He goes, "We got a tour in a month. We need you to come." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go, dude!" Like
invite, job already gotten, based on prior resume. So now, so. Just to reference what we said earlier, now you have what I call equity in the scene.
Yes, absolutely.
You have value that is beyond what your initial input was.
Yeah, I mean, I'd listen to Primer 55 when I was younger. I mean, the funny thing is when I worked for that record label, Primer 55, Introduction to Mayhem, had just come out. And so I was pushing the shit out of that fucking record. You know what I mean? Because I loved it so fucking much. And so I remember listening to Get Loose and you know all the other songs that they're playing. I fucking love that band. I had that fucking CD in my fucking CD player constantly. And you may ask what a CD player is. It's what fucking plays music on a little disc in a
everyone that listens to this podcast.
But they all know what a CD player is.
Trust me, we finally got big enough to where I get those analytics. I know how fucking old y'all motherfuckers are. My entire demographic, 35 to 45 years old.
Perfect. That's where we are. And so
Which is also the number one demographic for people that actually listen to podcasts. So it's not
and have
it actually
and no good music.
No, it's literally meaningless because it's the fact that I have my main demographic, my almost 100% of my is 25 to 35 or 35 to 45, is literally psychologically identifiable with the age range that has the understanding and attention span to listen to a podcast. Right. Anyone below 35 doesn't have the attention span for it. Anyone over 45 doesn't really understand what the fuck the point is.
Yeah.
It's meaningless. It's literally everyone who listens to podcasts. That's my demographic.
Cool.
Wow.
That's a good demographic to have.
People that listen
People
to
that listen to podcasts.
My demographic is people who listen to podcasts.
That's a good demographic.
And all of them are between 35 and 45 because anyone younger than that is on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
We'll get there. Okay,
Anyway.
so you get the open invite. You're
Yep.
basically in Primer 55.
Yep.
So how similar is it to your first, let's just call it a thrust?
Yeah.
From St. Cloud, fucking with a cover band, thrust into 13th Step.
Yep.
Regardless of skill level or musicianship, any of that, at the time, an already very established band, you're a rook, you know nothing.
Yep.
You just got to kind of have false confidence
Yep.
and fly by the seat of your pants.
Right.
How similar is that to when all of a sudden you go from a middling regional act, very successful local group that flirted with the nat, and all of a sudden, boom, you're in Primer 55, an actual national act, doing real shit. How similar are those two experiences?
The funny thing is they're
maybe not at all.
They're night and day. I mean, they're fucking absolutely
so they're not at all.
They're not at all similar. But the thing about it is when you are in that local scene, that's, and you have that kind of following, that draw on the fans, and then you go into a band that's kind of like irking, kind of like on that border of still famous, but people don't know who the fuck you are, so that you're right on that line where on one side you got people that, people know what Primer 55 was, had all their albums, all these things. And then on the other side, you got these kids that don't know who the fuck you are. So I've said a million times, I was in Primer 55. Who the fuck is that? But dude, I'd say
I watched you share a post, and certain people in your life that knew you, I don't know who these people are. It was your fucking post.
Yeah.
But you tagged me.
Yeah.
And people were like, I didn't even know about the Primer 55 thing.
I didn't make it very public. It was,
and then there's other people who were like, I forgot about the Primer 55 thing.
Yeah, right. Well, I was with them for like 5 years, but it was just not that. It was one of those things. Even people to this day don't think it was an official thing. I was the lead.
Was a good band name.
Yeah, yes, it was. I was the lead singer for Primer 55. But when you have that kind of
for
like
people that don't understand, we're in the third hour. We start getting more into comments, and I just saw somebody was mentioned they thought Dying Euphoria was a good name, Chad said, which I disagree with, but regardless, then somebody said I loved Revelance too.
I love the great song Banehinge. That was a fucking sweet ass fucking name for a band.
A great band name.
Yes.
So was Buried by Hope.
Buried by Hope was good too,
even though it totally fits with the metalcore vibe, and it's kind of dated,
right?
It was still a great band.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it was.
Sorry, go on.
I liked it. Yeah. Anyway,
in the third hour, we start getting more into the comments, so it gets a little more chaotic.
That's okay.
But
it's all the same people.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's good.
Jeremy finally jumped in.
I appreciate people watching us, and seeing us, and hearing us. Anyway, hopefully, when we repost it, you get some folks.
Yeah, it stays up after it's live.
Yeah,
it'll keep getting views.
So where were we? I don't remember what we were doing.
So it's night and day your experiences from joining 13th Step as a greenhorn baby to stepping up, and all of a sudden you don't have an audition, you just get a call.
Right.
Sounds like a jobber, sounds like a fill-in gig.
Right.
In my experience, that's how those things happen. Hey, I need you here. Can you do this?
Right.
Here's the pay. Boom, done.
Yeah.
But you're the guy. You're the singer.
It was not a fill-in gig. It was Bobby.
No, but I just meant like the way it was proposed.
It was
that's how
instantaneous.
The way I meant that was like the way it was proposed is typically how I've experienced fill-in gigs, jobber gigs, things like that.
Yeah. I know. I understand that.
So it's a thrust.
Right. It's,
hey, we need you here. Can you do this? Here's what we're gonna pay you. Here's the dates.
Yep.
Blah 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 blah. Here's the songs.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, let's go, baby.
Yep. Let's go.
All right. We just got to figure out how to make this work.
Right.
That dude. That was my career for like 2 to 4 years.
Right. No. Yeah.
I say 2 to 4 years because it was off and on the whole time.
Yeah.
But that is not fucking easy to do, first of all, mentally. No. And I was curious if you were intimidated by the same things you were intimidated by when you joined 13 Step, that story you told earlier. I was curious if you experienced the same level of intimidation when suddenly, because I did the very first time.
Yeah.
The very first time I got a jobber gig.
Right.
And I got to be very careful because I still have NDAs for most of this shit.
Right.
But the first time I had a jobber gig, I
have one.
I had so much anxiety, not fear. It was anxiety because it was like I knew I belonged because I had convinced myself I got the call because I belonged.
Right.
Equity.
Right. Yeah.
So I knew I deserved to be there.
Right.
But I also knew that if I made one wrong step, I would never get this opportunity again. That created anxiety, not fear.
Oh, I was scared to death.
So I overanalyzed everything, and I was so intimidated because I quickly started to see things I had already seen, but now it was a constant. So there was a certain skill level and like this weird intangible aura around high-level, true pro headliner musicians that we had opened for in our careers.
Yes.
The difference is the day I showed up for my first jobber gig, everyone had that aura. The shittiest bass player for the shittiest opening band would have been the best bass player on the Minneapolis local scene.
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of like you hear about guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's like everyone in the NFL was the best player on their high school football team.
Right.
And one of the best players on their college teams.
Right.
And that is literally what a backup player on a 53-man roster who never sees the field was, including the punter. The punter on your NFL team was the best athlete on his high school football team.
Exactly, yes.
You guys need to that's what it was like for me.
Right.
So I was extremely overwhelmed and intimidated the first time. The second time, I knew.
You go in.
It was different.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, you go with that confidence.
You expressed this, which I was surprised by and kind of laughed at.
Yeah.
The intimidation level.
Right.
When you said you auditioned for 13 Step.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of in juxtaposition to that.
Sure.
Where it's like I'm almost expecting the intimidation because that's what. But you're kind of going no night and day. So explain that to me.
It was different because none of it was my music, right? And so. And I had...
Which none of 13 Step was.
But I had Maddie with me. So I had somebody with me in that band that I fucking knew. But the thing about it was Bobby Burns, who was Bobby B, who was basically the founder of that band.
Bobby B.
You know Bobby, right?
No,
have you met him?
I don't.
Okay, so he was a bass... Bobby Burns...
That's a runoff of a bit from K-Fan.
Oh. Bobby Burns was... Yeah.
OBB? Oh,
he founded Primer 55. Right,
okay.
That was his baby from the get-go, and then he went on to be the bass player.
Open invite, by the way, Bobby B.
You don't
Bobby
want
B. You want to come on the podcast?
Open
invite, buddy.
Have him come on in.
Come on the podcast, buddy. Come on, come to Minneapolis. Come on the podcast.
It was his baby, and it was one of those things where if you weren't making Bobby Burns happy, you were a piece of shit in that band. And Bobby went on to eventually.
He's the founding member. What instrument did he play?
Guitar.
Guitar.
And he also went on. He also went on to play bass for Soulfly for years, and he did a couple of. I mean, their albums went gold and stuff like. He's got a lot of fucking gold albums. Got a lot of shit. He ended up getting. I don't know if it was fired or he quit the band.
Says hi.
Who?
Jen.
Who's Jen?
I think that's Jackson's wife.
Hi, Jen. Jackson's wife. I remember
says,
you.
Hey, Josh.
Hi, buddy.
Jen Roos says hi.
Oh yeah, I remember her. She was awesome. God, those guys. I miss those guys so much. Anyway. What was I fucking talking about? Oh, Bobby. Yeah. So
Bobby
when
B. How could you forget Bobby B?
I went into that band, and when I was the first tour that we went on was an acoustic tour. So it was me, Bobby, and Maddie, and that was fucking it. So I had Maddie with me the whole time, and he was my kind of sense of comfort at that point, but I was still fucking terrified. They gave me a month to figure out every word to every song. And
so it was similar, but it was night and day because it was different.
Just different because the comfort level was different, right?
So okay, this is making. So I'm just going to try to make sure everybody's understanding the way I'm understanding. So there was terror.
Oh yeah,
there was intimidation,
right?
But you had a comfort blanket in a friend,
yes,
in a former band member in Maddie.
Yes.
So there was some comfortability because you had somebody to literally retreat to,
right,
in those moments of intimidation,
right,
in those moments of fear and anxiety. You could just hit up Maddie and be like, bro, I'm fucking tripping out, and he'd be like, yeah, and he'd relate. Whereas when you entered 13th Step, you had no one. You were alone.
I had nobody, dude. I had nobody.
Got it. Okay.
Right. And the other difference is when I entered 13th Step, I didn't have a real high expectation of myself, right? So like I wasn't like, I just kind of sat in there, and if I get the job, I get the job. If I don't, I don't, right? When I was a Primer 55, it was more like, dude, if I fuck up, I'm going fucking home, you know? But I still had somebody to like release that anxiety with. You know, he understood the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went in there, I remember the first, we played a show, we were going on tour, we were going up, I think the East Coast, it was Cleveland, anyway, it was an acoustic tour, so it was just basically me and Bobby on stage half the time. Maddie would come on once in a while, and I didn't know fucking Bobby from Adam. I maybe had met him once or twice when Maddie was playing with Primer. And so, but I knew how fucking like, how meticulous he was, how how careful he was with everything that he did. He still had that rock star mentality with not really being a rock star anymore. You know, like he still wanted people to cater to him, and he didn't really do a whole hell of a lot on his own except for set up the tours, do all these things.
God, I want to be the exact opposite of that.
Please do, because it's really fucking mind-numbing.
I just really do.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. It's absolutely, it was terrifying. So I remember going in there, and we were at our first show, and Bobby knew who the guy was at the club. We went upstairs to this guy's apartment or whatever to go over, kind of like start going over the songs. Yeah. And so we sit down. Bobby's got his acoustic guitar. Maddie's sitting next to me. He doesn't have his bass out. He's just sitting there, and he starts playing. He goes, let's go over the songs we're going to be playing and everything else. And I had listened to that set list for probably, God, a month and a half before we took off. Day in, day out. You can ask my wife. My wife can attest to this. She was getting pissed off because that's all I fucking did was learn the lyrics of these songs because I wanted it to be so fucking perfect when I got up there. And so we get up to this guy's apartment. He goes, sit down, let's go over the songs. This is the first time that I'd seen Bobby. Since, he had given me the assignment to learn these songs. Sits down, he plays the first fucking note of the first song, and I fucking blank. And I mean, I blank to the point where I don't know what the fuck he just played. And so Bobby stops playing, and he looks at me, he goes, dude, listen, you're the lead singer of Primer 55. You're a star. You need to take a deep breath and relax. And he gets up and he walks out, and they had a balcony. And so Maddie goes to me and goes, listen, man, you just got to relax. You got to fucking understand, it's just chill out. I know how you get. I know how things are. Just relax, and Bobby will come back, and we will start back up again. I'm like, all right, man. So I kind of started looking at the lyrics again, and I fucking knew them all. And Maddie goes out to talk to Bobby, and Maddie comes back, and I'm like, is he okay? He goes, he's just gagging a little bit. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's about this close to throwing up, dude. So once he comes back, you better start singing. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I was shitting my pants at that point. And so Bobby comes back, he sits down, and eventually, it all comes back to me, and I start, singing and playing and all these things. And we went on that tour for, I think it was fucking 15 dates, and I was gone for maybe 3 weeks, and it went really well. It went good. And then I got to play, the rest of the tours were all electric, which was fucking awesome because I fucking love that. I was so sick of sitting up on stage with a goddamn acoustic guitar and Maddie sitting next to me and Bobby on this side. That's not what I fucking signed up for, you know?
Right.
So it was difficult. It was very difficult. And to this day, in all honesty, every fucking show, I was still nervous enough to forget lyrics. And so I go, blah, 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 you know, like, and people didn't notice, but I got really good feedback. You know, like I wasn't Jason, who was the original lead singer, rest in peace. He passed away. And it just, you know, I was the first singer that they had, I guess, in a long time that Bobby told me that he never got any shitty fucking feedback about. You know, they had maybe one or two before me. The one guy that was right before me, he was a fucking good guy, man. And that dude could fucking play. And he was a good singer, he was a good rap artist. He was very good at everything he did. But, you know, I had big shoes to fill. You know what I mean? It was when you know you're filling shoes for the original guy and people are looking at you going, where the fuck is he?
Right.
That's difficult.
Yeah.
You know, so and I saw it all the time, you know, so
Technically I've done that.
Yeah.
You know, I was not the original singer of Dying Euphoria.
I was the original singer of 13th Step.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I mean, I definitely haven't experienced all those things.
yeah.
I'll
tell you what.
It's an interesting journey, dude. It's
It
an
is.
interesting story. I wish we had more time because I still have more questions.
Yeah.
And we can't do everything.
No, I hear you.
How the fuck do you? Let me ask you before I even ask this question. What time do you got to be out of here?
I don't care.
You sure?
Oh, what time is it right now?
It's 4 right now.
Holy shit. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Oh.
What's a little bit?
When we're done.
Okay. I take it we're not gonna go meet up with people.
Can't, dude.
We can't figure it out.
No,
I didn't think we were gonna be able to.
I got an old man.
I think it was.
Sorry, guys.
I think it was too last minute.
Yeah, yeah.
But either way, how the fuck? Because I want to hang with you after the podcast for a little bit
Yeah.
too.
I just looked at my watch and it's not on my fucking
How
wrist.
the fuck do you transition from being a musician, doing all of this crazy shit?
Right.
I mean, at this point, and we don't even have to get it. We don't even have time to get into why you didn't continue your music career.
Right.
We'll have to save that for when I come back down to Texas and
Yeah.
we do another one.
Yeah.
How do you, once you've decided to retire from music?
Yeah.
How and why does becoming a hairstylist become the natural? Even if it's not natural, even if it is unnatural, it became natural.
Right.
That is such a crazy jump.
Funny thing is, a lot of musicians do that.
I get that.
Yeah.
But for you, you decide to retire, and we'll have to finish that
Sure.
thing later at another time on another podcast. But once you decide you're retiring, so Primer 55 to fast forward doesn't work out.
Right.
You decide to retire. You don't continue to pursue a professional music career.
Mm-hmm.
How do you land on becoming a hairstylist? Because you're a baller at that as well.
Dude.
Fucking baller hairstylist, dude.
I have a reputation. It was a whim. In all honesty, it was a fucking whim, dude. Like,
so you just went to cosmetology
yeah,
school
I swear
out
to you,
of nowhere.
that's all it fucking was.
And then you
my
just
wife
happened to be great at
My
it.
wife decided that she was going to go to cosmetology school, so I went over with her, and the guy that was the admissions guy said, "Hey man, you should be a hairstylist." And I'd known other musicians that have done that. There are a couple guys in LA that have done that and stuff like that. And I'm like, I have nothing going for me right now. This is post Primer 55. I was a fucking bartender, you know, and I just didn't have anything. I had no other profession that I could get into. I'd marked my fucking face up and my neck up and everything else, and nobody would fucking hire me, especially in fucking Texas. You know, you have to be straight and narrow up there.
So you're already in Texas before this journey starts.
Pretty much, yeah.
Why did you move to Texas in the first place?
To get married. My wife was there.
So she's from there?
No, she's from Minneapolis. She's from Minnesota. She went to. I went to college with Sarah.
In St. Cloud?
Yes, and she was a friend of my girlfriend at the time. Worked at the same bar that she worked at, but I had a fucking huge crush on her, dude. and if
she knew her all the way back then.
Yeah, and she ended up
It's
getting
almost like a high school sweetheart.
pretty
story.
much.
Almost.
She
it's
had-
college, but
My relationship with my ex-girlfriend didn't work out. And
So you're
she's
in
actually married to Ed from Smile and Liar now. Rachel.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you're in.
She's a fucking awesome girl.
So
dude.
you're
Like,
in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And then you guys hooked back up.
Well, I was in Minneapolis at the time. I was working for my dad at this fucking med spa. I was trying to get my dad owns a med spa. I was trying to get the fuck out of Minnesota no matter anyway. Now, and this time
Why did you flee Minnesota?
I always fucking knew that I just didn't belong. It was weird, man.
I mean,
It's-
back then this place was dope though.
yeah, it was. It was
sucks right now.
I
but
had
back
fucking-
then it was dope.
I was just out of a relationship with a girl that asked to marry me. We were engaged, and that didn't fucking work out.
Classic dude move, by the way.
Yeah.
Heartbroken, decides to move across the country.
Well, no,
That's a classic dude move.
and so
Not saying you actually did that.
yes,
But
no, I
that
didn't.
is- that is such a fucking stereotype, bro. Like, you got your heart broke. I got an idea. Let's
No,
move to
trust me.
Florida.
It wasn't a heartbreak. It was a fucking relief.
Okay,
And so I got the
bad
fuck out of that.
relationship.
Bad relationship ended, and I'd been in another relationship or two before I hooked up with Sarah, and my best friend from college, Johnny, to this day is one of my best friends. I fucking love the guy like a brother, and he lives in Minnesota. He was my best friend in college, so he knew his girlfriend lived with my wife in college, right? And so.
I'm not keeping up with this.
Yeah,
but I
no.
hope the
So
listeners
anyway,
are.
yeah. So anyway, it's
My brother's cousin's mother.
dude, there were so many girls in St. Cloud that were connected. It's so confusing. So anyway, I had a huge crush on Sarah. I was with another girl at the time, and that didn't work out a few years later. And so I'm at my computer one day, and I get a message from this blonde girl that I didn't fucking recognize at all. It was a headshot. She's like, "Hey, I just wondering how you been," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, don't know who this is. And I show the picture to my dad. He goes, "I'd like to know who she is." I'm like, all right, well, my sister didn't know who she was. And so finally I thought it was spam. You get those fucking spam emails. "Hey, big boy, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I would like to see my pics and all this other shit."
Yeah, the
So
bots.
but for some reason, my sister said, just message her back. Like, all right.
So she hit you up.
Yeah, she hit me up. I messaged her
Online.
back. I go, "I don't recognize you. I don't know who you are." And then I go to her site.
Even though you had a crush on her when you worked with her.
The picture was very deceiving. I'll just let you know. And so I finally figured out who she is, and we talked on the phone for maybe 6 months, and we made it official.
And she's already in Texas?
She's
by
already
this
Texas.
point?
She is married to a hockey player, so he had brought her
She
own.
was married to a hockey
No,
player?
not. She's divorced. She was divorced at the time, for crying out loud.
No, but she had been
She
married
had
to,
been married to a
who
hockey
was
player.
she married to?
He's a dude that didn't make it to the pros. Let's just put it that way. The guy's a fucking idiot. Anyway. Anyway, if he's listening, I think you're an asshole.
What's his name?
I'm not telling you.
What's his name?
His name starts with a B.
Oh, Bobby B?
No. Starts with a B, ends with a rad.
Brad?
Yes.
Brad. Okay, we're on to something. Hockey, Brad, Texas.
Yes. So they get divorced. She
What
finds
did you
me.
say his last name was?
I'm not saying it. Brad Soul. Anyway, I don't like him, and I don't care if anybody knows it. He thinks
so let's just say his name.
Brad.
What's his last name?
No, I'm not saying his last name because, dude, listen, man, I'm not gonna fucking his kid.
It's not like
the
anybody
kid
who
might be
listens to
lit.
this is gonna
My
burn his
son,
house down.
my son is 16 years old, and that's his father, and I'm not gonna say his last name because my son owns the shares
Oh, you know
shares
what?
the same
That's
last
fair.
name as him.
That's legit.
Yes.
I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
My bad.
What a dick.
I know. See how careless
So they
I
got-
can be. I am a careless, thoughtless son of a bitch.
Yeah. So they got divorced, and she found me.
owe Brad an apology.
No, you don't. Anyway, they get divorced.
No, you don't.
They get divorced. She found me. 6 months later, I'm moving to Texas. 6 months after that, we get married. 6 months after that, we have our first baby together, our only baby together. So It was awesome.
So
and she's the coolest fucking girl in the world.
Cosmetology.
She went to school to be an esthetician. And I'm sitting there with her.
What is an esthetician?
It's skin, dude. Jesus, it's skin stuff. Esthetician. It's skin stuff. She does facial stuff.
Just not everybody knows.
No, I get it. And so she, the guy that brought her into school says, "Hey, man, you should fucking look into hair. Hair people are rock stars."
Let me ask you this: does it work down there? I want to know if cosmetology school is the same everywhere as it is here. So here,
yeah.
If you want to be a hairdresser, makeup artist, esthetician. Fuck, I can't say that word. That's why I did it earlier.
You did good.
That's why I did that earlier. It's because I can never say that word properly. Doesn't matter. You have massage therapist. If you want to go to like Aveda, which is the #1 school in this area,
yes,
and it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah.
You have to take all of those. Like you want to, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's not in Texas.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. So I'm telling you, this is how it works here. It doesn't matter what you want to do.
Yeah.
You're learning it all.
Well, cosmetology, you're learning, you have to learn nails. You have to learn how to do facials. You have to learn, but 9 times I'd say hair,
makeup,
hair is the main.
Massages.
Yeah. No, massage is different.
That's how Aveda and everything works here. So my wife had to become a temporary masseuse to learn how to do shoulder and back massages,
right,
and head massages and scalp massages, because those things can be applicable in other areas. It's a force. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
Do they make you do that in Texas?
In Texas, they don't make you do massage, but they do make you do nails, face stuff,
so you know how to do
makeup.
Nails?
Dude,
so
I had to be a fucking makeup model.
So if I want to dress drag, you can do my makeup.
Nope, absolutely not. There's no fucking way. You should have seen my fuck. You should
say if I want to look good.
I had to take a test.
If I want to do it.
I had to take a test. When I took my test for nails, dude, my fucking shit was like this, and my wife was my model. The proctor for the test comes over and starts laughing. This is somebody who's not supposed to speak, show any kind of emotion while you're taking a test, and she's fucking cracking up at me. And I'm at the point where I'm 34 years old this time. I don't give a fuck, right?
I heard you give an amazing facial though.
I do. Ask my wife.
I didn't have to. Jeremy told me.
Jeremy, come on, man.
He's in chat right there. Shwa gives an amazing facial.
Yeah, he does.
You said it in chat in writing.
I do.
Now.
He knows.
Yep.
He knows.
And if, in case anybody hasn't caught on yet, we're talking about sperm.
Yes. Semen. Money shots.
Money shots. Wow.
Yeah.
So
that's what
coincidentally, on a whim, you fall into this.
Yeah. The guy says, "Look, man, really good." He said.
He just looked at you.
Really good hairstylists are rock stars, and I'm like, sweet. And so the cool thing is like I was able to listen to music. I was able to do something that I actually really enjoy, and not only that, I could perform on stage doing these things
in front
for
of people.
Yeah, and so I've been trained by some of the best.
Somewhat of a performance.
It is.
This is the conversation we have had.
Yes,
is because I asked you this a long time ago,
right?
And we need to talk about that same conversation again,
right?
Especially
we didn't even get to half the shit we did.
No. I'm talking the one we had like 5 years ago about the. We'll talk off the podcast.
Okay.
The very first time I called you when you were in Texas, that job I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk off the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
We need to have that conversation again.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm actually way more experienced in understanding of how it all works now.
Right,
and now I understand what my boss was trying to train me in to have that, and I understand the balls I dropped.
Gotcha.
With that conversation.
There were any balls that you dropped. I just didn't fucking know what to do.
But I didn't, and that's my fault because I literally didn't explain this to you properly.
Yeah.
I probably gave you too much information and made you too comfortable.
Right.
As a salesman, I didn't do a good job to tie back to what we were talking about.
Gotcha.
Earlier.
Right.
So we need to have that conversation again off the podcast because I know a lot more about that now.
Gotcha.
Specifically, not just from my experience with that job.
Yeah.
But now as somebody who's looking at it as a user, because I need to set up my own shit.
Gotcha.
For what I'm doing. You see what I'm getting at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but we had this conversation way back then, like 5 years ago. That's
Right.
kind of when we rekindled our friendship.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, it was probably even longer than that.
Right.
Now it was probably closer to 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, I still own my salon, Dane Lyric. So
And
that
you
was
had other people working for
yeah, it was,
you.
yeah, 8 or 9. I think 8 years ago. 7 years ago. 7
It
years
was
ago.
right
Yes.
around when I met my wife,
Right.
which is around 30, 31 years old.
Okay.
So minimum 6, 7 years ago.
Okay.
Long story short, I asked you that same question. How the fuck do you go from this to that?
Right.
And in a shorter version of this conversation, you explained the similarity of the performance.
Yes.
Because back then, you're cutting a person's hair
Right.
in front of other people.
Right.
So there's a whole, and I get that because I've been being in Minneapolis.
Right.
There's different ways to get your hair cut. And you can get your
The good
hair-
way or the bad way?
You can get your hair cut at an elite level in any place in this town. It's a lot like music. Like
Right.
you can go to Great Clips and find a world-class
Sure.
hairdresser who just happens to not be able to have a job
Right.
at one of the top salons
Right.
because they're so overemployed.
Yeah.
But my point is, you can get your hair cut, and then you can get your hair cut with a vibe.
Yeah.
And man, some of these places are just exciting to be in.
The vibe is what sells.
Yeah, and
You
it's
can do the
people-
shittiest fucking hair, but if you got a good vibe, dude, people will come back and see you. And when you mix good hair with a good vibe, dude, you're unstoppable. That's all there is to it. And you will be, people seek you out all over the country.
And you're actually good though.
Yes.
Because I
think I
as
am.
a musician, I've dated a lot of hairdressers. There's this weird thing with musicians.
Mhm.
Okay. Musicians, male musicians,
Mhm.
straight, let me rephrase. this
Straight
again.
male.
Straight male musicians
Straight guys are hard to find.
have
in
a
music.
weird proclivity. Okay, a weird proclivity towards gravitating towards a few different types of women.
Mhm.
Strippers,
Yep. I got those.
hairdressers,
Right.
makeup artists,
Yep.
hookers,
No, I don't know if I have those or not.
and
I
actresses.
gotcha.
Okay. That's a thing.
Yep.
That's a thing. It's real.
Yeah.
And so I've dated a lot of hairdressers, and I've dated
I
a
th-
lot of makeup
I
artists.
think that almost all my girlfriends, up until
Had
I was a makeup
One
artist,
in
was
one
a
of the- I bet it
hairstylist.
in one of those five.
It was a hairstylist or
Almost all
nurse.
musicians-
Nurses too.
Oh, nurses.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about nurses. You know what? You're right. Let's replace hookers with nurses.
Nurses. I've never dated a hooker before, dude. That's kind of a that's kind of a dark statement, dude. Hookers.
Because I knew there was one.
I have dated strippers.
I knew I was forgetting about one. So I just
Hookers.
threw in
Holy
hookers.
shit, man.
Well, because I had already said strippers, so I knew.
How do you date a fucking hooker? Every time you buy her dinner, dude, you think you're paying for
something? You know what? It's called being her pimp.
Exactly.
No, you're right. It wasn't hookers. I don't know why. I threw that in there because I knew I was missing. It's nurses.
Nurses, yes.
Coincidentally, all these women make good money,
You know, and
they're all
and they'll
usually
help you.
fucking hot.
They help
and
you out
smart.
after the
That's
life
the
is
other thing,
over.
too.
Yes.
They make good money. They're
Yep.
hot and they're smart.
Yes.
And
They go-
musicians love women that make money, are hot, and are smart.
Yes.
Because especially if our shit blows up and we become successful,
Yep.
we don't want a bitch that was with us because
Yeah.
of that.
Of that. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
want a woman who's with us because they're strong.
Yes.
Now you'll catch a failure beta bitch musician who attaches himself like a fucking parasite to
Right.
one of them bitches.
Yeah.
And is literally just like, well, she makes good money, she's hot, and she's smart, and she can take care of me.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like my mom, but I can fuck her. Like, yeah,
Holy
dude,
shit,
you're
man.
a failure.
Yeah. Oh, it's rough. Yeah.
But like that, and we both know
Yeah.
musicians like that,
And
where you look at their wife and you go,
It was
yeah,
never,
dude,
but with
this isn't gonna last.
Yeah, with
You're
me, it
gonna
wasn't-
disappoint her.
with
and
me-
she's gonna leave you, and
Yeah.
you're gonna end up on meth.
exactly with me, it was never. I never cared. It was just more of like, it just happened to be that. You know what I mean? What do you do for a living? I'm a hairstylist. Fuck! You know, because like every other hairstylist I've ever dated didn't work out.
All the women I've been attracted to and been seriously into had a background in one of those things.
Right.
Including one who's a nurse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and the nurse was the worst, dude.
That's why I couldn't believe I forgot about nurse. Because you're right. No, like musicians have a proclivity towards strippers, makeup artists, hairdressers, nurses.
Yep.
And what was the fifth one I said?
Hookers.
No, I replaced nurses with hookers.
Yeah.
Massage? No, not massage therapists.
I did date a massage therapist.
Actresses.
Actresses. Starving actresses. That's right.
Well, just models and actresses.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I dated so many fucking models too. Holy shit.
Yeah.
They're action packed with issues.
I think a lot of the reasons are obvious, but there's a non-obvious reason, and it's because there's an intrinsic understanding and respect between a creator couple.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That's what I was really getting at with this whole thing. And so it makes sense if you think about it the right way, how a musician not only would date a hairdresser, but become a hairdresser or a hairstylist.
It was really...
I don't know what the proper term is, stylist or dresser.
Stylist.
Hairstylist or hairdresser, whatever. I use them interchangeably because I'm a naive fuck.
I don't care.
But you're really good at it. I've seen the pictures,
I tried, dude.
I can say that not because I'm your buddy. I can say that because I've dated a bunch of bitches who've done this shit at a high fucking level, and I've been like, man, this bitch is a bad bitch.
Yeah,
like this bitch can fucking do hair, and she should. And I'm thinking of girls I'm dating. I'm like, this girl is fucking over the top good. She needs to be in Hollywood. Like I've actually literally convinced a couple girls I dated on a short-term basis. I'm like, you're too big for this town. Get the fuck out of here. And they're like, what? And I'm like, the best you can do is work at this salon. I'm not even going to name their name because they don't deserve the fucking the free pub. But I think you already know which one I'm talking about.
No. Oh yeah, never mind. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Just kidding.
It's like that's the best you can do here as a hairdresser or a hairstylist, unless you open your own shop and somehow get in a network of celebrities that come through town. Maybe get the fuck out of here. And there's literally 3 of them I convinced to move to LA, and they're doing extremely well.
That's good, man. It's awesome.
And we only dated for a short period of time and banged for a short period of time, but I'm like, listen, girl, this town is not. You got to get the fuck out of here. You need to be doing big shit. And I've dated dozens of them, and 2 or 3 of them I convinced to get the fuck out of here. And they listened and they did it, and they're in LA and they're
doing their thing.
Banging shit out. Like
Texas,
literally on Hollywood sets doing Tom Cruise for 20 grand. You know, like
Texas has got their celebrities and shit like that. My wife especially, like she does all the fucking Dallas Housewives.
I want to know how Atlanta became the next Hollywood over somewhere in Texas. That's
Atlanta?
What I think is stupid. Yeah.
Atlanta's the next Hollywood?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Atlanta is the new Hollywood.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Fuck if I know.
Walking Dead, most of the Marvel movies, everything's filmed in
Really?
Atlanta now. Yep.
I don't know.
It's literally
we don't want to be a part of the U.S., man. We want to secede. So
like, unless you need New York or Minneapolis for location purposes, it's Atlanta.
I didn't know that.
Walking Dead is
I had
filmed
no
in
idea.
Atlanta. Everything where it's framed as DC is still in Atlanta.
Is Atlanta? Shit.
Yep.
I had no idea.
A lot of
and we got our
Marvel
things. I mean, we got we got the Dallas Housewives, and we got the all these kind of like we have a lot of
why it wasn't Texas.
We have a lot of reality stars there. There's a lot of reality shows that are filmed in Texas.
Oh, let's also plug your shit. By the way, if people want their hair done, you do come to Minneapolis every once in a while. They can hit you up. We can make an extended trip so you can come up, not just visit the fam and do the podcast. We can add a week in here, like a tattoo artist, where you can set up shop. You have a real cosmetology license. We can get all this. Any of that shit's not an issue. We'll get it lined up, and people can hit you up, get their hair did by you and or your wife. You can.
My wife does skincare.
The whole fucking. You guys own a business,
but she's the shit.
We haven't had time to get into all this. We're gonna get into it again next time.
There's so much, man.
I know. And 3 hours. You think? What are we going to talk about for 3 hours? Trust me.
I gotta tell you, dude. I was fucking scared.
Everyone is.
It's like
And
shit,
that's
man.
why
Like,
I keep just telling you
but
guys.
there
Don't
was
worry
so
about
much stuff. I feel like I was rambling, dude. I'm so sorry if I fucking took
Not
up.
at
You know
all.
what I mean? Okay,
Not
good,
at
good,
all.
good.
And trust me, that's why when you guys, everyone says this. What are we going to talk about for 3 hours? Like, and I go, dude, stop. I got you.
Just talk, right? Yeah.
Like, I'm going to ask questions,
Right.
and trust me, if you don't talk enough, I'll fill in the space.
Right.
And I will seed things and transition things and tie things back together.
Right.
Because we're going to have a conversation. I have an idea where I want to go. I don't have notes. There's no cue cards. But I've been in your spot before when I went on Chili's, so I understand. I
Right.
get it. But it's weird because 3 hours isn't enough.
No, it's not. It's crazy,
We
dude.
had to literally leap off the end of one thing.
Yeah.
We weren't properly able to end one thing, so we could at least touch base on this
The
thing.
small stuff, yeah.
And now
Or-
the point is
Small stuff.
this is where we're going to try to take off and elaborate on next time. The
Sweet.
ending of Primer 55,
Sweet.
the beginning of this, where you're at now. But I want people to understand that the talent that you have on this end of things, I think, is even at a higher level than what you were doing musically. You're an elite level hair
Thanks, man.
stylist, hairdresser, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. And people can hit you up.
Yes.
Instagram, it's at the Hair Hulk.
The Hair Hulk with underscores in between the Hair Hulk.
Yep. Underscore the underscore
Hair underscore Hulk. Yes.
Next time you come up, they can schedule those things.
Yep.
They can come down to Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, you're outside Dallas, but not
I'm
very
in
far.
Frisco.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
right outside
Right
Dallas.
outside Dallas, yeah.
And maybe we can fucking, honestly, man, I think is what we really got to do is we got to get a bunch of cats to go down there.
Fuck
And-
yeah, man.
And because I'm going to do a run of podcasts, I think we should have a bunch of the scene come with us.
I would fucking
Do
love that,
podcasts
dude.
with us.
You guys could
together.
stay at my house. I don't
Get
give a
your hair
shit.
did.
Get your hair, dude.
There's a
Yeah.
fucking dope ass wakeboarding.
Yeah,
Like-
that'd be sweet.
It's not even wakeboarding. It's also kneeboarding.
Yep, everything.
It's like everything's on like this fucking rope. I shared it on my Instagram a while back. If you guys go to @JaredSingerLive on Instagram,
Yep.
I've seen this place on the way to your house.
No, it's awesome, man.
It's right next to the Hula Hut, and yeah, dude, you can
Don't eat there.
There's no boats. There's no boats. Like you just like grab this fucking thing on a rope that
Yep.
runs around like a ski lift from where we're from, but you're wakeboarding and they got jumps and they got 2 or 3 guys in the top 25 in the country at wakeboarding that
Yep.
train there
I train there.
on a
Yep.
daily basis. It is fucking super cool.
It's awesome. It's a really cool spot, man.
I'm so grateful that you took time out of your
I'm grateful that you had me, man. This has been great. Like honestly, dude, I
This was a blast.
appreciate let me like speak about things. There's been a lot of unanswered questions, and I got to fucking kind of delve into some of those things. And I hope that next time we can kind of go even further into
Yeah,
it.
no
There's so
problem,
much
dude.
more shit that. Like we wanted to get into Texas, we wanted to get into gun control, we wanted to get into all these other political things, and like,
Don't
dude,
have
it's
time.
fucking crazy. It's
Don't have
awesome.
time.
So
We don't
I
have
know
time.
it's so great.
That's why I try to explain to everyone, I'm never going to give the fans, I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. I'm never going to give you guys the podcast you want
Yeah.
because there's not time.
You're right. Yeah,
Which
there
is
isn't.
why we have guys on over and over again so we can get certain things on the table out of the way.
Right.
So it gives us freedom the
Right.
next time they come on. And
Right.
unfortunately, it's probably going to take us 2 or 3 podcasts
To get into it.
before we have time to catch up to the real world and talk about gun control
Yep.
and all the real shit going on because there's so much.
It's cool though
of
because
your story that
your
deserves to be told.
podcast is based on like the scene, right? And so I'm super happy we just kind of like stuck to that fucking subject right now. That's so
Well, I
cool,
wanted to
dude.
tell
Right?
your story because I
Right.
don't think enough people know or understand our stories as individuals.
Yeah.
We know your story from our individual perspective.
Right.
But there's never been a moment or a platform for anybody to really get to know Josh
Yeah.
unless they happen to become your very close friend
Right.
and get to go to your personal barbecues at your. No one does.
Yeah.
There's too many people.
Yeah.
So
I don't have friends in Texas, by the way, because I don't want to make them.
yeah, next time we'll talk about
All my
that.
friends are
But
here.
thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate it. We love you guys so much. If
Fucking
you guys
awesome.
want to follow Josh on social media,
Jeremy,
on
I miss
Instagram,
you.
It's the Hair Hulk with
I miss your
underscores.
musk. I miss your musk, Jeremy. And Chad, too. I fucking wished you were here.
Yeah.
See you.
Too bad.
Boots and
It's
everything
too
else.
bad. It's too bad. It's
All
too
right,
bad
brothers.
you
Thank you
couldn't
so
not
much,
make it.
guys. I appreciate you having me, Jared, man. It's fucking been great, dude. It was so worth the fucking trip, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. And I'm excited for whatever version of your podcast you finally get up and running.
Finally, yes.
I wish we had a little bit more time so I could kind of show you how this stuff works, but we did a little bit when I was
Yes,
down
we did.
there. And
Yes, we did.
you see a little bit on this side, and the puzzle pieces just slowly come together. You just got to just start doing something, even if you don't let anybody watch it.
Yes.
Put out 20 episodes that no one sees. Like I showed you, do them unlisted, do them private, do whatever you got to do, but start putting out content, even if no one watches it. Just
I gotta get on it, man.
practice doing it.
I gotta get on it.
Find your groove. You'll figure it out, man.
Cool.
And anything you need, dude, I'm here for you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow Josh, it's at the Hair Hulk with underscores on Instagram. Everything I have is at Jared Singer Live, whatever platform you're on. Thank you guys very much. We love you, and we're gonna get the fuck out of here so we can hang out for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.